Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to It's Erik Nagel. 866-969-1969 is the phone number. Before we get into everything that's going on here tonight, I'm going to do a real quick giveaway. I got a copy of Call of Duty Black Ops 3 for PS4, the opening song tonight. Tell me who covered that and what movie it is from, and you can win this. 866-969-1969. Get that out of the way here. My name is Erik Nagel, host of this show, and there's my co-host, Matt O.G. Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you?
And Giddles is here.
Hey, what up?
And Lisa Correo's here. How are you? Wow, that was interesting.
Oh, well, hi.
R's getting sexy with us. It's Erik Nagel on Twitter, Instagram now. Whoa. Matt took over that account, so he's going to be running that.
Yeah.
YouTube, Facebook, all those places, and all our individual stuff.
It's like we're a real show.
I know, whatever. Crazy.
You know we have a Snapchat that we never use?
Nice.
Yes.
We have a Periscope
I added
too,
it the other day.
Did you really?
And when she went and looked, he goes, there's nothing here.
There's nothing, yeah.
No.
We should make a snack chat and just post every time you're eating snacks.
Dude, I'm hungry. I could go for snack chat right
I
now.
know, right? I'm like, oh, we got a seltzer.
Work on that. You can make probably $1 billion. They sold Candy Crush for $5.6 billion.
No,
I think
5.9 billion.
$5.9 billion. I think Snack Chat will work just the same and make you tons of money.
I'm telling you, my new app, Tuber, when you want someone to drive you French fries, just text Tuber, you'll get potatoes.
There
I'm
you
down.
go.
I'm down with that one.
Yeah.
That's almost what Postmates is.
Yeah.
I don't know if you are aware of Postmates. It's just people getting McDonald's at 4 a.m.
I like McDonald's.
I could do that too.
Yeah, it's just people delivering. It's like the Uber of delivery drivers. You can just go, hey,
Well,
I
unless
want
you're in
Taco
certain
Bell
parts
or
of
whatever.
Chicago where not only Uber and the cops won't go, despite you requesting their presence.
There you go.
So you take your life into your own hands there. On today's show, it's Gotham themed as we welcome Sean Pertwee and Erin Richards to the show. Talk about what's been going on with Rise of the Villains, first half of season 2. We'll talk to them about that. We'll have to work in something about Mr. Pertwee's dad at some points. If you don't know, you'll have to listen as to who his dad was. Also, some friends of mine from high school are doing pretty well. They're actresses. They got a web series that's been winning all these different awards at different festivals.
Oh, nice.
Called LI Divas is the name, but it's Long Island Divas. And they're also going to be in Billions on Showtime.
Oh, cool.
So I reached out to Katie McGuire and Catherine Callahan, and they're going to be here probably in about 20 minutes or something like that.
Nice.
So we'll talk to them. Interesting to see somebody else from school doing something, because a lot of people on Long Island don't do anything, and that's a fact.
All right.
I thought it was just me and you, Eric.
Yes.
I'm
Forever.
from Long
I didn't
Island
even
too,
think it was
guys.
me. I was like, wow, Giddles is doing really well for himself. I look at his Facebook, and I'm like, where did you get... Oh, right, we gave him that. Yeah. It's like, look at all those photos.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that's what we have going on for here. Also, I want to promote the holiday beer show that we're doing on December 4th.
Yes.
Slots are closed.
Nice.
We filled it. So on Friday, December 4th, we're going to have our holiday/winter beer party here on the show. Matt, you have the thing in front of you, I think, right?
I do.
You want to run down who's joining us?
Yeah. Well, the Masters of None, we've talked about them before. They've been here for other beer shows.
Can't do a beer show without the Masters of None.
Of course.
It's pretty much written in stone.
And Ken Cage and 2SP Brewing are returning. So this will be their second beer show.
They could not be more excited about this.
I'm sure. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Greg Opie Hughes will be joining us for his second beer show.
Right.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
This is our fifth beer show, something like that.
I
wanna
think
say
it's
5.
4. Well, all right. It's
Who
somewhere
knows?
around there.
This is the third one I've been to.
We've drank so much,
Okay.
we lost count. So,
This is going to be my first one, guys.
Oh, you're not invited.
Oh, no.
This is going to be a gathering of gentlemen for a night of. No, of course you can come.
Lewis
Oh, I
can't come.
believed you for a second.
Lewis, no, well, I can't say Lewis can't come because that would get me in a lot of trouble. Lewis is definitely, and of course, welcome at everything that we do here. He produces the show.
Of course.
Who else is now confirmed for the big holiday beer show?
So we have Mustache Brewing Company from Long Island will be joining us.
Woo!
The Long Ireland Beer Company from Long Island also joining us.
Yes.
And then Demented Brewery from Middlesex, New Jersey.
Now, these people the Mustache Brewing Company, again, people I went to high school with, and opened up their own brewery.
Yep.
So they're doing pretty well. Demented Brewery are friends of Lewis. Don't just nod, put the mic on.
Hello, hello.
There you go. So these are friends of yours, right?
Yes, they are. They've been around for a little while.
Crank up your mic just a little bit more if you could, please.
Yeah, they've been around for a little while.
Nice.
They're awesome. They only do growlers right now. They're doing cans also.
But I looked at their beer availability.
Yeah,
as
their
far
offerings.
Yes, and they have a lot.
Nice.
So
I like variety.
When I heard his friend reached out to me, I said, what do you have in the ways of stuff for the holidays and for the winter and everything? And they said they will not disappoint. So Demented Brewery will be here for that. Yeah. And you want to add the final footnote?
Sure. Music for the evening will be provided by none other than Dennis Falcone. So
wait, what does he play?
I have no idea.
He does not.
Oh,
he spins the ones and twos.
Sure, he does.
Does he have a harmonica?
Mr. Falcone makes regular appearances on Opie and Jimmy, much to Jim Norton's dismay. And he's a DJ.
Couldn't we have just selected a bunch of beer-themed songs ourselves and just gone with it?
I'm sure he. Look, Denny's taking requests.
All right.
So he can mix beer songs with holiday songs, and it'll just be a big cluster F for 3 hours.
Nice.
That the United States and Canada will be able to listen in and maybe drink along if they want.
I feel like Canada is always going to be drinking along. Canada's always
They never
drinking.
stop.
They never stop.
They never
it
stop.
just happens.
So
up
it's
there.
about up there.
Yeah.
Oh, a boot up there.
A boot.
Sorry.
Yeah, you drink out of the boot.
They're not drinking the Molson. They don't want to listen. They'll just
Or
tune right out.
Labatt Blue.
Well, depending where you are in that country.
Yeah, it's true.
Are we allowed to sleep here after the show?
Maybe no. We'll work on Ubers and stuff like that.
Go.
Yes, because you got to drink responsibly. We can't have everybody. This is a job. This is work. This is a tasting.
That's right.
It's a gathering of gentlemen.
Right.
It's a
3
collective.
hours.
It's a discussion of the holidays, of life, and the finer things.
I have to bring food that night, otherwise I'm going to be in trouble.
You're not driving anywhere.
True. Fair enough.
I was
Bring me food.
gonna make like a big spread of food to bring in with like steamer trays and stuff.
See, that's the man right
That's what
there.
I was gonna do. I was gonna make like macaroni and cheese and like a whole bunch of different things and bring them in, set it up over here, let everyone have some food.
All right. No one is telling you no.
All right. Well, that's what I'm gonna do.
All right. So now we have it catered, and now we have beverages, and we will have a good time ushering in the holidays.
Absolutely.
And I think the week after that is we're going to do the gift swap stuff because Lisa is taking off for Florida.
Sure.
So the day we were going to do it as the last show of the year, but she's not going to be here, so we figured we'd move it up a week.
Thanks.
Woohoo! Last show of the year for us is the
11th?
No, I want to say the 19th, 20th, somewhere around there. Whatever that Friday is before.
I think
Christmas.
it's the 18th.
Yeah.
What are the rules for this gift swap?
$250 minimum.
Oh, crap.
Can only shop on Fifth Avenue. I don't know. We'll set the perimeters.
We'll set perimeters.
We'll do it next week.
Yeah.
We'll figure out what we're going to do here. I already have something in mind. We got to figure out if we're going to do everybody's getting gifts for everybody, or we're going to do a Secret Santa thing.
All right.
And I think Lewis wants to be a part of it, right, Lewis? Of course. Lewis is going to be there. Paul said he wanted to be a part of it. I think Roland wants to be a part of it.
Oh, boy.
So,
it's a motley crew.
Right.
That's for sure.
We'll work around and see who else wants to be a part of it and make the last 3 shows of the year to be a bit festive.
Sure. That'd be lovely.
All right.
That'd be fun.
So, let's get that thing away here. Where's the call screen? There it is. Matt, pick a line and rock your body in time.
I'm going to go with line 2.
Okay, I believe you. Let's go to Mark in New Jersey. Mark, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Eric. How are you?
How are you? We started the show today with a song. Can you tell me what movie it's from and who covered it?
Well, I heard 2 songs, but I'm going to assume it's the one from Beetlejuice, covered by Harry Belafonte, Jumping the Line.
No, he did the original, so I apologize, you don't win. Matt, what other line?
Let's go with 5.
That is Scott in New Jersey.
Oh, God, I had the same answer.
Okay, and I have the same hang-up. There we go. Matt, what line do you want to go to?
All right, 1. Line
We're going to
1.
go to 1. Sorry about that. Corey in Texas. Corey, how are you?
Okay, I'm doing good.
Corey, what are some things that... Giddles, what are some things that rhymes with Corey?
Some things that rhyme with Corey. Allegory,
Story.
Corey.
Montessori.
Montessori, yeah.
I think that's a good list.
Story.
Corey, how are you?
I'm good. I was going to say Beetlejuice and not Harry Belafonte.
Well, you're in the ballpark, but that doesn't quite get it, sir. I do apologize. Matthew, where are we going?
Line 3.
Line 3. Oh, back to Texas and talk to Oscar.
Yeah, it's Beetlejuice, covered by Winona Ryder.
By what?
I think he said Winona Ryder.
That was a guy singing, sir.
Oh, shit.
Enjoy the fine weather in Texas. Matt, where are we going?
He was in Beetlejuice, though.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
line 2.
Line 2 doesn't exist.
Oh, okay. What line is left?
There's a couple lines here. Let's go
with line 7 or whatever that is near the bottom there.
That looks like a 7. We'll go to 7. Hello, unknown caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Ralphie from Ohio.
Ralphie, how are you, sir? Where in Ohio are you?
By Toledo, Ohio.
Okay, good. You're not in Cleveland. That's good for
but
you.
I do like Saranac beer because I'm from upstate New York.
Nice.
So,
all right. Good for you, sir. Look how worldly you are.
Yeah, Saranac, the Golden Pilsner, best beer ever, in my opinion. But Beetlejuice, and what about Cherry Poppin' Daddy?
Ding, 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 sir. You win a copy of Call of Duty Black Ops 3 you have PS4?
Yes, I do.
All right. This copy is yours. I'm going to put you on hold, and Lewis is going to get your information.
And Saranac beer, I love it, right? So I can't wait till you guys go over it one day.
All right.
Will, man.
Send us some.
There you go.
If I can get that one, I will, for sure.
All right. Or come by the studio, either one, whatever works for you.
Yeah, just walk.
All right. I'm going to put you on hold. Congratulations. And that gets that out of the way.
It's a casual stroll, isn't it?
Now, there's a bunch of stuff that we have on the list here that we want to talk about, but unfortunately for the moment, we're going to have to put this aside based on events that are happening as we speak. Gittles brought this to my attention. I've been in that office for the last few hours. I wasn't really checking out what was going on in the world. I was trying to get all this other stuff done here. And Gills brings this to my attention about everything that's going on in Paris here.
Yes.
And can you give me some of those details, Gittles?
I mean, I know as much as everyone else does just from reading the websites right now, but it seems like there was a couple of a restaurant that came under fire and a theater that came under fire where there's hostages being taken. There was also reports outside of a soccer stadium where...
Right, on CNN right now on the bottom of the screen says the stadium bombing was apparently a suicide attack.
Yeah, and there's mixed reports on fatalities. Like some are saying 40 dead, some are saying 60 dead. There's still like a hostage situation going on.
Over 100 hostages, I heard, right?
Yeah, over 100 hostages. There was...
now, where are the hostages at?
They were at a death metal show.
No, they were
right?
at the Eagles of Death Metal show, which is Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age's other band.
Oh!
And they're not like actually, they're not like a death metal band. They're like, we're the Eagles of Death Metal.
Yeah,
They play like kind of rock stuff. And they're okay. I read a report that the drummer is at a police station and called his mom and said they're all right. But there's still lots of hostages being held and explosions and shooting. It's crazy. They just shut down the borders of France for the first time ever. Like locked all the borders.
So this just kind of happened out of nowhere, all these attacks.
It's
roughly all at the same time.
Yeah, they were. It was probably all very coordinated attack. But the thing is, I was reading in reports that they were preparing because they have a climate conference in 2 weeks, and they said that they were getting threats ahead of time. But I'm wondering if they found out something like kind of earlier today, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but traffic and everything was a freaking nightmare today. Like all over Brooklyn, there was traffic, roads were shut down, there was helicopters everywhere. There was police on subways, like everywhere. It was kind of crazy. Like I felt like something was going on.
Sorry to step on you. It's one thing if traffic in New York City as far as cars go, but when the trains are getting backed up and the subways are getting backed up, that's a little weird.
Yeah, and there's like helicopters everywhere. The BQE was shut down for like a little bit. I don't know what was going on, but I mean, it's just
I was late because the first two trains that I should have got didn't run at all, and then by the time I got on the train, it was way, way late. And the reports were coming almost immediately out of the White House that there was no known threats against the U.S. currently, which leads me to believe that they had been vetting it, or at least were cognizant of something, and were kind of checking everything out. So
yeah, I don't know. That's just my speculation.
Yeah.
But it's a horrible story.
Yeah, it's terrible. And this is the second one in Paris this year, right?
Wasn't the third one? Charlie Hebdo is in January. Then August there was one
seems
where
so long ago.
Yeah, but it feels like it was yesterday, but so long ago. And then in August was the one where the American Marines disarmed the guys on the train who had the guns who were going to start something.
Right.
And then this is, I guess, the third one that's happened now. But they've been getting reports like constantly. because of their involvement in Syria, because of their involvement in Iraq, because of their involvement in Africa. So, it's crazy. It's the crazy world we live in.
And there was some sort of U.S. military strike overnight last night where they got Jihadi John. So I wonder if this is some sort of, maybe it was planned for something else, and this was some sort of move up in, kind of retaliatory. The strike was by us, though, right? It was by us, but you strike where you can, and you strike against allies, and you strike against anybody that's involved in the war. And
it was also thought that he was either a British or French citizen too, so that wouldn't surprise me. And earlier reports I did read say that it could have been a retaliation for the Jihadi John thing.
Right.
But I mean, everything is speculation at this point because no one really knows.
Yeah, I suspect we wouldn't know anything legitimate maybe until tomorrow, and then quite honestly, probably not until early next week.
I feel like we're not going to get any. Until the dust literally settles, we're not going to get answers. It's going to be lots of hearsay, lots of, this is what I think happened, but I don't think we're going to get actual facts for a little while.
You're speculating that there's going to be speculating?
Yes, I am speculating about speculation.
Nice. When can you confirm the speculation?
Soon.
Okay. Breaking news. There you go.
Yep.
But yeah, this is I don't know if we're going to get anything.
What is the position of the hostages? Where are they? Are they on the ground?
More current
What is the
update
layout of the building. And I am surprised it's taken this long. I can only imagine they're planning to breach that building.
Wow, attackers spent 10 minutes shooting in the theater.
They all had AK-47s and grenades.
As we've heard from Julian Pierce, who was inside.
We're following CNN right now.
They are systematically going in that.
You can tell because Wolf Blitzer knows as much as I do.
Discuss this, systematically killing individuals, not discussing anything with anyone, not asking any questions, but systematically murdering people who had gone to that concert.
Clearly, this is an event to kill as many people as they can. That's why the police are going to have to make a horrible decision of breaching.
Yes, it looks like it was 3 attacks.
Despite the fact that a few innocent hostages may be killed.
One thing, Wolf,
all right. Yeah, there were two.
That's scary. That
two explosions.
That
right?
They're going to breach the theater, even though they know that hostages will be killed. That's kind of scary.
But but if you heard what he says, it sounds like hostages are getting killed by the moment anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
So I mean, at some point, you have to make the decision, I think, to go in, right, and try to minimize the loss, because otherwise they know there's 100+ people in there. So if you don't go in at all, there's 100+ deaths.
Yeah,
right?
that's true. It's scary.
It's a tough situation to be in. I wouldn't want to be the decision.
Yeah, everyone's
makers.
reporting differently.
Because it's just, this is literally breaking news. This was, an hour ago this all happened?
Stuff breaks while we're doing this show.
I know.
Yeah.
It did.
Remember
in the morning.
When
we did the morning show,
that was when the
reporter was shot live on TV.
Yep.
And now this is happening here. And yeah, all the results are different. CNN saying 60 people were killed, but Reuters is saying 40 dead, but 60 wounded.
And I saw another one that said over almost 80 dead. So.
Yeah, I saw some that said 100 dead, so I don't think we're really going to know.
And it's probably
unfortunately.
I mean, this just happened. They're assessing everything, and really, unless something breaks right away, it's going to be a while before they sort this out. Like this, you're going to have to watch all weekend just till material starts coming out about what's exactly is going on here.
Yeah, I mean,
no one's claimed responsibility for it yet, right?
Nope. No. We'll keep the news on, and if something huge happens or some sort of huge confirmation happens, obviously we'll, we could say something.
We'll go back to it,
yeah.
But like we always say here, it's not that we're thinking less of the situation. Sure. or what the tragedy that happened to the people there and everyone involved. It's just that there are other programs, other sources out there that can handle this and will handle this a lot better than we will. If you really need to follow that, SiriusXM carries all the news channels. If you're in the car, if you're at home, obviously the TV, cable news and everything's going to run this around the clock. So maybe go to one of those things.
We are not political experts. Give us a lager, however.
Yeah, seriously.
We're set to go.
We'll tell you the benefits of the dark side versus the rebels. But
let's go to Travis in Rhode Island. Travis, how are you, sir?
I'm well. I'm really enjoying the show, guys. I think it's great radio, and I'm excited to hear you guys get back to talking about the lager.
Well, we do what we can, sir, in this time of crisis.
I just want to make one other point. I think you guys are really good at what you're doing, and I like the delivery. Kind of the opposite of that douchebag Rich Voss. That's all I want to say.
All right.
Well, that means Rich will be calling in soon and wanting to defend himself. So, Rich, we welcome your call. Let's go to Mark in New Jersey. Mark, how are you, sir?
Hey, Eric. Sharon Puffy Daddies came out in the 90s. Beetlejuice was a 1988 movie. I don't know how they could have possibly been on that soundtrack.
I didn't say they were on the soundtrack. I said what movie is the song from and who covered the song.
Well, that's all right. Well, that's all right. Whatever. I think it's a little semantics there. You got to be careful, though, man.
Tricky wording.
Yeah, it was from Beetlejuice, but who covered the song?
Who covered the song, though? And it was the song that he played.
Covered the song. The song from the movie is credited to Harry Belafonte.
Right. I said, what movie is the song from and who covered it?
Someone's a sourpuss.
I understand what he's saying, though. I was kind of confused.
All right, I guess so.
It could have been like 25 people have covered that song. That's all I'm saying.
All right, here's what I'm going to do, Mark. Mark, hang on. Here's what I'm going to do, and I'm doing this once. Everyone else is going to get hung up on if they try to do this. Mark, I'm going to give you a copy of Avengers Age of Ultron, all right?
All right, thank you very much, Eric.
Okay,
I appreciate that.
there you go. Lewis can get his information, and he'll get that consolation prize. Everybody else, door is closed as far as that goes. But I still have other copies of Call of Duty to give away. We've got some stuff that we really need to clear out. The prize bins and drawers are getting overfilled. So what we have here is we have a variety of Terminator Genesis stuff. Ooh. We've got different... Oh, we'll get to those things. Matt's looking at one of the pieces as we speak. But we have the Blu-ray, DVD, and digital copies to give away. And with those copies, you can, depending on what we got here... there it is. We've got this is an impressive figure, the Terminator endoskeleton.
Yep, from NECA, right?
That is from our friends at NECA, so that's a prize to give away with the movie.
I have that in my room, and it's awesome. Like, everything moves on it. You can bend the individual toes on the Terminator. It's fucking sweet.
All right, and then we have, this one is kind of cool, too. This is from Skydance Production. The brain chip.
Yeah, yes. I saw that.
I'm guessing, is that a keychain in there?
It is a keychain.
Okay, it's a keychain, but it's the actual brain chip that you put into the Terminator.
And it weighs about 10 pounds.
It does.
Really?
So it's probably a protection device.
Be careful if you're throwing that.
Oh, wow, this is heavy.
I mean, clearly not 10 pounds.
You can definitely gouge out the eye of an attacker as you're going to your car.
It has some...
So is there like a theme with all this like horror sci-fi stuff being Friday the 13th, or just coincidence?
It's left over from Halloween. We're getting rid of it, much like the candy.
The theme is Friday the 13th, not the movie, the day.
Yeah, the day. Exactly.
The scariness that is.
All right. So we have that. We have the Child's Play figure, the exclusive. That glows in the dark.
Ooh. So when you wake up in the middle of the night, Chucky is trying to kill you.
Nice. With a Blu-ray copy of the original Child's Play movie. And then, the other Terminator thing is the half-scale Endo Skull, which is really creepy.
Oh, that's pretty cool, yeah.
So you can get that with the movie as well. So a lot of stuff to give away.
Lots of cool stuff today.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a break. I see the girls are outside. We'll talk to them in just a moment. We'll speak to Katie McGuire and Catherine Callahan from Long Island Divas, Showtime's Billions, and a few other projects there, plus fellow high school graduate with me. All right, so we'll take a break. We'll be right back.
We're back. Call Eric and Matt now. 866-969-1969. Here's Erik Nagel.
Welcome back to It's Erik Nagel. 866-969-1969 is the phone number if you want to get in touch with us. Still a lot of stuff to give away. We're monitoring everything that's going on in Paris there. No new updates since the last time we talked about it, but we're keeping an eye. And like we said, there's other organizations that can handle this a little better than what we can do here. So if you want to flip over there. And
Twitter could probably handle it better than we can right now.
So go and check all that stuff. Matt O.G. Giddles is here, Lisa Correo. And this is interesting. Two ladies in our studio right now, one of whom I went to high school with and shared a couple of classes with.
Yes.
And I thought I hadn't seen in like 20 years, and then she reminded me, it's like, no, I ran into you on the street once 10 years ago. So instead of 20, it's 10 years ago. And that would be Katie McGuire and her friend, her business partner.
Lover.
Oh,
sure. Catherine Callahan. Hello, ladies. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you? Thank you for having us.
No problem. It's weird connections to Katie, because not just from school, but her grandmother and my mom are friends.
Yes.
Which was really bizarre to find that out. And
golfing buddies, yes?
Yeah, for a long time. And yeah, they would gossip. Like old ladies do, about everything Katie's into, and my mom would say, everything that I'm doing. And when it was presented to me, it was always like, Katie's an actress now, and Katie's doing all these things. And I'm like, all right, Mom, I get what you're talking about. He's more successful than I'm going to be. But welcome to the show. Good to see both of you.
Yes,
and
you too.
You've got a lot going on, a bunch of different projects, because I follow Katie on Facebook, and I've always seen you at these, I guess, exotic film shoots. Like, you're on stage, you're at the beach somewhere on a boat, and she was just over in Europe, and she came back here. You didn't leave your trip to come back for this, did you?
I did.
Ew, I'm so sorry.
No, this is well worth it. I was actually in Israel. I just got back. That's my voice. I'm a little more raspy today, people. I just got back 4 o'clock this morning.
Oh, my God.
Shalom, y'all.
What were you doing over in Israel? What were you doing over in Israel?
My husband is Israeli, and my sister-in-law got married.
Oh,
so it was a big, long, hence the voice, festivities, parties, weddings, the whole 9 yards.
So is his family over there?
Everyone's over there, yeah.
That can't be cheap to keep going back over there to see family.
No, it's not.
It's not like a quick flight either. It's like, it's kind of a long flight, yeah.
Back, yeah.
But then you gain a lot of miles.
Oh yeah, totally.
That's very true. Well, and he had an extra trip this year, so he got upgraded to silver.
Oh, snap.
So
while she was still back at Coach.
Exactly. Flying back, I'm like in between two people.
Don't knock it. My dad's done that. We've been on family vacations and like, well, there's one first class seat, and then all of a sudden my mom and my sister and I are in Coach, and Dad's up front.
He gets the big piece of chicken. That's what happens.
Right. It
How
happens.
you doing back there? You get like a note.
Yeah. And then there's just chickens flying around like Indiana Jones.
I want to sit up in first class. He goes, did you pay for this trip? All right, good point. I did not. I will see you in 4 hours.
Fair enough.
Exactly.
So let's start with the one of the current projects that you guys are doing that's winning all these awards at different festivals. It's a series called Long Island Divas, or is it just LI Divas?
Well, LI Divas, but LI stands for
Long Island.
Long Island.
Long Island. Hey.
Long Island.
Now I know Katie is from our. We won't give them plugs because that town refuses to recognize me on Wikipedia as being a celebrity.
Oh no.
So. I definitely know Katie's from Long Island. Catherine, where are you from?
Oh, come on now. From Long Island?
Where?
Unionsdale.
Okay.
Represent Nassau Coliseum.
Yeah, some monster truck races there.
They sure do.
I saw the elephant show there. Not as cool. But
I think I saw the Undertaker throw someone through a table there, too.
Yeah, you see wrestling matches and Warrant.
And bed hockey.
And Metallica. Yeah, well.
First concert.
Yeah.
You sad it's gone?
Those days are gone.
Are you sad about that?
I am kind of sad about that.
Were you one of those people that really wanted to keep it?
I am not going to talk about that. That's my past.
The fun thing about the Long Island Coliseum is that it still had that brown-orange carpeting that used to be in every mall in Long Island in the 80s. They just never updated.
Why would you?
They were cheap.
Yeah. There you go.
That's exactly it.
Exactly.
So tell us,
we're going to have Warped Tour here in the parking lot. Like, we're not even going to put it inside. Just sit in the parking lot.
Yeah, bathrooms and concession are inside, but the show's out here.
Yeah, in the parking lot, in the rain.
Yeah. Yes.
So tell us about Long Island Divas.
Do you like to start?
Yes, of course.
Catherine.
Well, let's see.
Okay,
LI Divas is a little bit of our little pieces of our lives in Long Island, a little bit of the characters that we met along the way, combined with all the insanity on reality TV today. It doesn't even have to be the housewives. It's the mob wives or, any wives or any craziness that's going on. Anytime you see a table fly in the air, that's kind of what we're
What about WAGs?
Sure. I mean, WAGs works. Whatever you got to do.
I actually have not watched.
That's why I made
You're
that
not
up.
missing anything.
No.
The only reason I know WAGs exists is because I watch Total Divas, and that shows up in there. Because it was WAGs, and before that was Soul Cycle, Hollywood Cycle, something like that.
That lasted for I feel like a
It's
second.
like, people run bicycle exercise classes, and that was supposed to be scandalous.
I am really comfortable being completely lost right now.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say,
Me too. It's my own show, and I'm totally lost. So I have no idea what's going on.
Lisa, do you watch that?
No.
Yeah, you do.
I am from Long Island, though.
Oh, Long Island represents
Elmont.
Where from Long Island?
Elmont.
Elmont. Nice. Nice.
So it's a mocking, I guess, all the wives shows with all the characteristics.
Yeah.
Plus, you go a little over the top. Some
Yes,
characters
do.
are not what they're supposed to be.
Right, exactly. A little ambiguous.
But real.
I mean, come on.
We've seen these people, every single character on the show is a real person or could be a real person in real life. I mean, we take it from our real lives. So, I mean, you can't get funnier than that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we meet these crazy people. We're like, that's not real. Like, I mean, that's where we come up with these jokes and these episodes. We're like, this did not just happen. We got to make an episode. And that's what happens.
I gotta say, one particular episode that I watched hit a little too close to reality.
Okay.
Even though it's scripted, with the birthday at the bowling alley.
Yeah, come on.
That is a very
Slice of Blaine's.
that is a very Long Island thing.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Bumper bowl.
Do you remember when they
having the party room, which has the wood paneling from the 70s, and the white, that really cold, sterile white hospital tile.
Yes.
See, now I'm comfortable in saying that is a New Jersey thing too. We have that as well.
Okay.
We have the bumper
practically
bowling
from
and the
Long
panel.
Island.
Yeah, it's sort of.
I mean,
Don't talk to Jersey. They hate it. They hate it.
It's true.
For no reason other than you're exactly the same people.
No, I don't hate anybody, Eric.
I hate the people on that side of Manhattan, and they hate the people on that side of Manhattan. And guess what? You're the same people.
Staten Island.
Yeah, no one likes that.
They're kind of in the middle.
But yes, the birthday party at the bowling alley. Really, I was like, no, they're not. Oh my God, they're at a real bowling. And then I'm looking at it, and it's like every Long Island bowling alley is the same.
Exactly.
Never updated, other than they put the digital screens up now that a turkey shows when you get 3 strikes in a row.
Yes.
And they still think that the big thing is the what is it, techno raving bowling that they do at night.
The black light bowling.
The black light. The balls of Dayglow colors, and there's a DJ spinning horrible music, and there's a disco ball in the center of the lanes for no reason.
Of course.
Well, I remember when they finally changed from the bumpers that were basically just giant air conditioning ducts that they drag across like 30 lanes, and then they had the ones that you just pull out. You have like the little hook and you pull them out. It was like,
always hurts their finger off.
Yeah, exactly.
I love the fact that they just oiled the lanes, and the guy's walking through all willy-nilly, no regard for the fact that they just oiled the lanes, drops those bumpers on there, and then doesn't re-oil the lane. Like,
and we're like, dude, we have a league match right now. Like, get off the lane. Guy looks like Super Mario. It's like,
It
get out
adds
of here.
excitement to the game.
It really does. But I mean, bowling. We have to give a little shout out. We actually filmed that in Yonkers.
Yeah.
What?
It's a home field.
Don't reveal our secrets,
Home field bowl.
Wow, nothing
Give
changes
it a
around
shout
here. Nothing.
It's all the same.
It's all the same, though. That was like the oldest, best. I guess we have to shout them out.
Yeah.
Home field bowl representing. They really hooked us up.
Now, doing this kind of series, like, imagine how's the shoot time per episode?
We shoot typically, like, I would say 2 days.
Yeah, it depends on the amount of characters on the show. Because all of our characters are really talented actors and have other things to do. So scheduling is one of our main issues.
Yeah.
So if we have to do 2 days because of scheduling, we'll do 2 days.
Yeah. We tried, like, the bowling episode, we turned that into 2, part 1 and part 2, because there was so much good footage that we couldn't put it to waste. But we, typically we'll do we'll shoot on location, and then the next day, or, a week or so later, we'll do the interviews. At Catherine's house or mine.
Usually we're drunk.
Shh, Catherine.
More secrets.
That's the best way to get a true interview.
That's the way to really bring out our talent.
Yeah.
Bring out the alcohol.
That's right.
So what's the budget on something like this? Because I imagine because I think you only have, outside of the actors, there's only 2 people that's working on all of this, right?
Depends on how many commercials we get that year.
Exactly.
do you go to some of the colleges, like 5 towns, and say, look, we'll give an internship?
No. We've just got fabulous, talented friends that we help them and their projects, and in return, they help us.
Yeah.
So,
the key is to have like super talented friends, family.
That's right.
And husbands.
If you're not talented, we're not your friends.
Fair enough.
Well, it definitely does not hurt.
No, but we truly the amount of people that have helped us on this show, we couldn't do it without them. People so generous with their time, their talent, and it's. I think the people on our show have a lot of fun.
They do have a lot of fun.
They do.
I get very close to the
mic.
mic
We
a lot.
compensate alcohol.
No, they have a lot of fun.
Oh my God, it's like
they enjoy.
moving. It's like, come help us shoot this. We'll provide pizza and beer.
Exactly. Get a bribe.
Pizza and beer is the universal payment for moving.
Exactly. We're shooting at the bowling alley. Wings and fries,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Wings and fries.
I'll strap a washing machine to my back. Wings and fries, I'm in.
Do like a drunk commercial for the bowling alley. Like, we filmed here and like fall down the lane.
The Dasher passed out.
Yeah.
That's right.
Now tell us about the cast. Everybody's involved. Besides, I mean, obviously you two. Who do you play, Katie?
I play Gina Gianelli Goldenbaum. Naturally.
She likes a lot of animal prints, it seems.
Oh, and fur and animal prints. And long French manicure acrylic nails.
Tap, tap, tap.
Tap, tap, tap. Oh, that is Long Island in a nutshell. My hair is standing up on my arms.
No, hold on. You're forgetting another aspect. Who's wearing leggings and Uggs? With the sweater tied around the bottom there.
I mean, that would be
season
Paul.
2.
That would be Paulette. Paulette has worn the Uggs.
Paulette did wear
Asking
the
for
Uggs.
creatine
Yes.
when she was down on her luck.
Exactly.
She wore.
Because that's what you
Uggs.
asked for.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
but there is, so then Catherine plays
I play LaDasha McGee.
Dasher McGee.
She's
And then we have,
she's the oh no you didn't girl of the show. Like, I'm not the one to be messed with. I run this thing, and she doesn't really run anything.
You know it.
She's from the Bronx.
Uh-oh.
She's from the Grand Concourse.
Originally.
Who else is on the cast there?
Well, the very talented Kathy Searle,
Kathy Searle.
who I'm sure people have seen on a million commercials
And
and
who's
TV
she play?
shows. She plays my sister, Caldor Gianelli.
Remember Caldor?
Remember
I remember
Caldor?
Caldor.
Okay. Yeah. It's coming back, apparently.
What?
I'm
Because
serious.
we're convinced it's because of our show.
Like a pop-up store for the holidays or something?
No, the real deal. Holy
real deal.
Fields.
They're thinking
Caldor's
about
coming
bringing
back. Bradley's is
I
just
like
around the
Caldor.
corner.
They had good blenders and
Bradley's.
So we're getting like West
Followed by
Babylon.
Stearns and
Yeah,
Cheap
that's what it
John's.
was. Caldor was in West Babylon.
Yeah.
Ames and then Rickles also.
Don't mess. Don't mess with
Pergaments.
Caldor.
Oh, I remember Pergaments.
And then there's
There's nobody else. No. Leslie Meisel, who is also a fabulous, talented actor, UCB, long time, fabulous person.
Director, writer there.
Yeah,
She
director,
runs-
writer.
yeah.
She's fantastic. And who else do we have? That's one of the main characters, Pablo Blanchardo, as Paulette
Pablo.
McGee.
That would be this gentleman right here, who sort of
All
looks
right.
like Nathan Fillion.
A little bit.
I don't know what that is.
He's
Nathan Fillion?
Villian, Castle, Firefly.
Oh.
He's a very good-looking gentleman.
Oh, well, I'm sure he'd be very excited to hear you say that.
yes,
Well, please pass the word.
yes, we will. Pablo Blanchardo.
Now, if you go to lidivas.com. You can check out the episodes, all the information involving this. But on the front page there, look at all these awards that you're winning here.
Boom.
Yes.
Now-
Boopity boop bang.
It's anyone's game nowadays where you can shoot anything and throw it up on YouTube, make your own web series like you guys did. But in order to get this kind of recognition, and you had something today, or you're going to something
tomorrow,
today? Oh,
the
it's
New York
tomorrow.
City Web Fest. We'll do a shout out for them.
Yes. Thanks,
A
guys.
really great festival, and
Who are we up against? Some top dogs.
Colin Quinn show The Cops.
Yes.
Cops is nominated with us.
That's a good show.
Lewis, it's great. I actually watched a bunch of episodes. It's very funny.
It's so weird because the morning show I work on was Opie and Anthony. Now it's Opie and Jimmy.
Yeah.
All the people that's in his show are regulars on their show.
Oh,
So
really?
in the morning, they coming in, and Colin's busting your balls. He wants a cup of tea, and he doesn't want any guff with it. Those kind of things. Then you see all these people on the show, and like, I know him, I know him, I know him, I know him, and it's a great show. I think I don't know if they finished season 2 for his web thing.
I don't know.
But you're up against Colin.
Colin Quinn, and then Lewis Black's new.
I have not seen that one.
It's premiering tomorrow.
Okay.
It's called The Mentors.
Yeah.
Is that just going to be an online thing too, or
Yeah,
is,
it's
did
his
he-
web series.
Okay, so it's his web series
Yeah.
as well. Wow, you got some stiff competition.
We do. We do.
But
Kathy
we're
is
not
nominated.
nervous.
I mean, come on. We have. What do we get nominated for? Best comedy.
Yes. Web series, or is that determined
That's
tomorrow?
determined tomorrow.
Okay.
Outstanding achievement in writing. Catherine and I.
Yes. Hi.
An acting nomination for Catherine, myself, Pablo Blanchardo, and Kathy.
And Kathy Searle.
And the New York City, the NYC TV Award.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, that's
awesome.
I know.
That's just covering New York. They've had other awards. I mean, London, Los Angeles. Yeah. I'm reading around here. I can't see that last one. Yeah, you are.
Hells yeah, that's awesome.
I gotta spread the LI Diva love.
When did you put the first season up?
Actually, funny enough, it didn't even start as a web series.
Yes.
Catherine and I decided that
Is this something that you would just do at home?
No, we were like, let's work together.
We were cast as like, the wife, the girlfriend, the hot mom, now it's hot mom. And we're like, we want to be funny. We want to, create some funny characters and do something that we love to do that nobody else would really hire us for. Or,
Then
things have changed.
funny things that we knew that we could do, but it wasn't, obvious from like a headshot and a resume.
Right.
So we were going to originally do a sketch show.
Yeah.
And this was one of the first ideas, and we just, threw together the first episode, and people really liked it, responded to it.
We got hooked.
And we decided to turn it into a web series.
Yeah.
Now, you've besides from this, you've done other smaller parts, I guess, in TV shows.
Yeah.
Right.
What are some of the things that, can you list some of the credits that you have as far as where you've appeared?
I've done Blue Blood. I did all, the soaps. My first part ever was a very tiny part on Sex and the City. Boop. As a waitress.
Nice.
Typecast. Back in the day. So it was a big stretch. And they cut my face out.
So it's just like the neck up, like tray coming, or
was it the neck up, or was it? That's what I was gonna say. Did they just show your back while the scene was going on? You happened to be helping customers.
I'm pouring Sarah Jessica Parker coffee, and they cut to Kim Cattrall.
I think we were in the same episode.
Too sad. Yeah.
Was it Pastis?
No, it was the lesbian du jour episode.
We almost had a moment.
And then Catherine and I are soon to be on the new Showtime show Billions.
Before we get to that, let me ask you: were you in Rescue Me?
Yes.
Okay, somebody told me that, and I didn't get a chance to go back to find the episode because I want to find the stills and put it up all over here. But your character name?
I'm like girl at the club or club girl. Basically, I standing in line at the bathroom, and Dennis Leary walks up to me. And asks me a question, and I'm like, the bathroom's over there.
They only had your face this time, left out your body, so you caught up.
But did you see what they listed your character as on IMDb?
No,
this is awesome. That's
gonna be good.
Secrets. Oh, the interweb finds out secrets.
Club patron.
Club patron.
Oh, look at you.
Club patron.
The episode is called that. I misread it because I thought the episode is what they called your character, and I was like, wow,
that's
brought it up.
He's like
the worst customer ever.
Say what your character was. Katie, say it.
Say it, Eric.
I'm going to pull it up.
That's my dream role.
Your character says club patron, so we'll go with that.
Yeah.
No, the episode is called Twat.
Yeah.
So I thought, so there it is. When I read it quick, I was like, wow, that's her character?
Just throwing beers in everyone's face.
I would highlight that script and hang it on my wall. And there's my one line.
She said the bathroom was this way, but it was that way.
And that's where they got the name from.
Look how far you've come, Katie.
I mean... And then Catherine.
Oh, who's Catherine?
Come on.
That would be you.
Credits,
yeah.
girl.
Well, I mean, Rod.
Yeah.
Sherrod Small. It's part of the family.
Yes. Sherrod was going to try to get down here for this because I had mentioned the other day when he was in for the morning show, and I said, do you know Catherine Callahan? And he just goes like this. It's really early in the morning. It's about 6:50. The show hadn't started yet. He just puts his hand down with his phone in his hand and turns around and goes, how do you know Catherine? And I was like, she's friends with a friend that I went to high school with.
That's right.
And he goes, she's a great girl. She's a great girl. I've worked with her before.
Yes, Rod and I don't remember. I saw him in the same circle for years, and then we finally worked together in a commercial as husband and wife.
What's the commercial?
It was a lot of fun. It was a mayonnaise commercial. Hellman? I forget. It's terrible.
Sherrod did a Hellman's commercial?
Well, it was like conjunction with a network. I forget. They were doing some promo thing, and so we did a mayonnaise.
That's not how you spell mayonnaise, Eric.
You should know.
I'm
That's what
sorry.
Google checked.
You know what? You're right. I should know. Shame on me.
Come on. You should tell me what I've done.
Sherrod Small mayonnaise.
It was a lot of fun. We did a lot of improv. It was really cool. And then we ended up working, the next year, coincidentally, a recurring role on Are We There Yet? and that was a lot of fun. And we bumped into each other like, no way, you're on the show, me too, oh my God.
This leads all to this brand new show that's coming in early 2016 on Showtime called Billions. Now, other than me saying the title, I was told by your boss that we are not to discuss your characters.
Brian,
and he said,
love you.
Yes, Mr. Brian Koppelman, brother of our friend Jenny Hutt. So Brian's like, oh, that's great. They're great girls. They're not to talk about their characters. It's too soon. Okay. You got it, sir. But Brian's going to come in in January to talk about the show.
Yes.
And
it's amazing.
It's going to have you. Also, our buddy Dan Soder is in the program there.
Oh, very nice.
And I don't know much about his character. I just know that the show has good guys and bad guys, and that's about it.
All right.
So
that's like every show.
A lot of mysterious, a lot of mystery around the show here. As far as, but you guys got these parts in there, which is great.
Yes.
Now, is this? Do you think this is going to launch you into something really big, or is this just going to be, another great opportunity?
We're famous already. Don't worry about it.
Don't downplay them, Eric.
Not downplay.
Catherine has a larger role than I do. I'm only in one episode, but Catherine's in several.
We're not allowed to talk about it.
I feel like my voice is getting raspier and raspier.
Now is when you should be taping. That's when you should get the camera outside. She's in Manhattan. I don't like coming into the city.
With a cigarette hanging out of my mouth or something.
Too many people. Everything's dirty.
That's our new show. We're actually working on a new show together. And we're developing that character. So don't. That's all you're going to know.
Season 2 done with Long Island Divas right away?
We are filming two more episodes.
All right, so if you do a season 3, you have to do the sickness, I'll say, of Long Island, where they never leave Long Island.
Well, they go into the city.
Yes.
Well, the city is one thing. That's like, people don't want to go in. People in Long Island call Manhattan the city.
Right.
They never say Manhattan, New York City. They just call it the city. But most of those people don't ever go into Manhattan. It's like, I don't go in the city. It's I don't want to get killed or
exactly.
They think it's just this horrible place.
Yeah, we talked about that in the first
episode. Like it's the Cantina Bar from Star Wars. It's like it's not. It's fucking Manhattan. It's Disneyland.
You're gonna get on the subway.
They always talk about it, right?
You know what happens on the subway? Don't stand. My father. Don't stand near the edge. Someone's gonna push you.
Oh no.
That's why my family hasn't come to see me perform in New York. They're from Long Island, and all my shows are here, so they haven't seen me at all.
It's like, I love to see Lisa, but we may die.
Take a photo for us.
Yeah, my cousins are like, you take the subway?
You got a video on the phone. Just have somebody tape it for us. We'll watch it tonight.
Well, before we get off track with LI Divas, I'm sorry. I just really want to make a shout out to Steve Blanchard.
Yes.
Who we wouldn't be able to do this without him. He has been our lifeline. He is the cinematographer, editor, lighting crew,
life coach. Sits with Catherine and I in an editing room for 7 hours at a time.
He wipes our tears and we wipe his. That sounds gross.
So he's like your first, your last, your everything.
He really is. Don't make me start singing about it because I might do it. Yes, so that's all. Sorry, I just had to mention him.
Extremely talented and extremely humble.
Talented, yes.
Well, good job, Stephen.
Yeah.
Back to the episode ideas. So yes, the city.
This is a pitch.
I know Eric is just going nuts, man.
I just
did you find another episode she was in that was embarrassing?
No, Eric, the character you're missing out is the guy with the beaded necklace and the big Jenko jean raver kid from Long Island. That's the character.
That might have been me.
Oh shit!
She doesn't want him to keep it too real.
I heard Jenkos are coming back.
Yeah.
The big jeans that almost bell bottom but have the track stripe on the side.
Yeah, and you need like the beaded necklace with like the big thing, and it's just a 311 shirt that has like the circle on it. Yes. And it says like 311 in it. See, Lewis knows what I'm talking about.
What was on the special sauce?
Yeah, special sauce.
She loves special sauce.
She loves special sauce.
There's a place in like Massapequa.
Or Rick's Surf Shop.
What was Massapequa?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Rick's Surf Shop.
Utopia. That was the place. The Utopia. That was like the head shop that's still in Wantagh.
It's still there?
Oh, it's still there. I was there recently. It's crazy. They have like 3 floors. It's expanded from like the incense commercials to like
a the Ron
factory.
Johns of Long Island.
It's like, this is the sword floor, and this is the bong floor, and this is the really illegal floor.
It's like, remember flea markets?
The Atias?
No, what was the one heading to Patchogue on
that was the Atias flea market.
That's the one that put a laser tag thing in there for no reason.
Oh yeah.
But you'd go to those bookshops in the back that had those curtains that if the guy wasn't looking, you'd sneak in, and it's black lights, and then it's all this other weird pornography and paraphernalia.
Yeah.
the most important part of this entire show so far for me has been that New Jersey and Long Island really are exactly the same. All of these things, just a little bit further away.
That's basically it.
Seriously, like we had the dirt mall on Route 1 with the creepy room,
right,
and the sword store with the bombs, but we only had one floor.
I'm glad we're bringing worlds together.
I know. I think we just had a peace treaty here.
And I'm trying to act like I'm not excited about swords and laser tag.
I see you excited over there.
or the one little booth that had that spray painted like tire covers for your van and the license plates,
or the Tasmanian devil with like the backwards hat and like the jeans on, like spray painted on a shirt.
Calvin pissing on everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or Calvin peeing on everything.
Or the people who made their own craft clothing, where it's like it's a dock scene, but the dock has rope taped onto the sweatshirt, so it's the worst.
Like actual seashells glued onto it.
So, okay, there's another episode for you. Going to the flea market.
Season 3 done.
Flea market.
I think we have seasons 1 through 12, like storyboarded out.
And you have a two-parter, because there's one is like, we're not going to the city, and then it's, we're in the city, so you're walking around in, you know, Times Square and all the touristy places thinking that you're at the exquisite stuff.
We don't want to ruin our bonus episode, but it's kind of like that, but you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Everybody has family in Florida.
Always.
And if they don't visit their family in Florida, they never leave Long Island. They never go on vacation, but Long Island is still the shit.
Right.
Like, everyone thinks it's great. So, if you ever go to California, I ain't going to California.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Of course.
Why would I leave?
Why would I leave the malls?
So many IROC Zs just up on cinder blocks in people's driveways.
Amazing.
And it was an old Brewer bit on Opie and Anthony, but it's based on fact that two things. One, every town had their own fire alarm that would go off at weird hours. Just out, and you didn't know what the hell was going on. They just would ring the fire alarm. And also, fireworks were another thing. Every town had their own fireworks display.
That's right.
Oh, like still, like every day there's fireworks going off.
My husband is Israeli, so the first time that he went out to Long Island for 4th of July, I went to my parents' house. There are really going to be fireworks? I'm like, trust me. He's like, should we go to the beach? I'm like, just sit in the backyard, and it's going to be like Macy's fireworks. Trust me. And for like 3 hours, someone lost their hand down the block.
Oh, yeah.
The show was great.
Here's other things with fireworks. You have what Katie just said. You can sit on the. Some people sat on the roof of their house with the old, beach chairs where the slots are ripping off. So you'd watch that. Then, if you didn't have that, you would put on like 10-10 Winds that had the soundtrack to the fireworks in Manhattan. So they would play, Stars and Stripes Forever, but you're hearing the fireworks on the radio. And then at 11 o'clock, you tune into the local news to see all the people who lost eyes and hands playing with Roman candles in a cul-de-sac in a town near you.
Nice. It's like the closest you're going to get to Fallujah without joining the army. Like, it's like, oh, we lost 3 more people this week, Jimmy.
LIDivas.com. Go and check out all the episodes there. Season 2, you said you have a bonus episode or something coming. They got 2 more other episodes to finish up the season. We'll have to get you back in January for officially so you can talk about Billions.
Yes.
And Sharad's episode.
He's premiering season 2, so that'll be around the same time in January.
Yeah. Okay.
We've got a lot to talk about in January.
We do.
And I want to see this mayonnaise commercial, too.
Yeah.
I'm dying for this mayo commercial.
I'm not ketchup. I have no idea. I forget.
I'm not saving that for this show. I am bringing it to the main show. As soon as I find it, I'm like, when Sherrod back in, we got to watch this mayo commercial.
We got a lot of blackmail with Sherrod.
Yeah. It's funny.
A lot of outtakes.
And so he doesn't kill me. Sherrod has a show called Race Wars here on the channel. Wednesday nights at 7 p.m.
Love
it's
me
great
some
show.
Rod. Yes.
I think that's about it. Give out your Twitters and stuff so people can check you lovely ladies out.
So our Twitter is at @li_divas.
Mm-hmm.
Who had LI Divas?
I have no idea.
You didn't look, or did you just thought it would be?
I didn't look.
We didn't want to have a fight with them. We get very angry. So we just left it.
Just wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
It's probably like someone that doesn't even use Twitter.
Yeah.
It's just an egg sitting there for 6
We have
years.
a Facebook page, LI Divas.
Yeah.
And Instagram, Insta. Is LI Divas.
Sure.
I'm noticing consistency. That's good.
Yeah. Or it's Thursday Productions.
Yes.
We do other things than LI Divas, but we'll talk about that in January.
Okay, very nice. Before we get out of here with this, let me talk a little bit about high school with you.
That's why you're really here.
Here's the juicy shit. I got the pen and paper here to start writing down stuff.
No, there's no juicy shit here because
I know all the
Don't call her a twat. That's all.
No. Oh, that's still up there. I'm sorry. I'll take that down. I didn't realize. Boom.
Yikes.
So, you graduated what year?
97.
All right, so you were the year behind me.
Behind you.
All right. So we had TV production class.
Video production.
Video production class 1 and 2.
Yes.
And there was one other class I remember. I think it was an art class or something.
Art class.
All right. So, and you were very blonde back then.
I was.
Now your hair is
now very red.
Is your hair still naturally like a blonde, or much like every other blonde, especially myself?
Yeah.
It went the way of brown.
Brownish.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Blondes do not last.
No.
I used to be like really like golden blonde.
You were blonde in high school.
Right, and then naturally blonde. In the previous years, I've stripped my hair color and went back to like a highlighter color. It doesn't last too long, but it looks cool. Well, all right. I thought it was cool and it was a bad idea.
Throw some pictures up. Come on.
I know. Where are those pictures?
I'll look.
Oh, Eric's got great pictures.
People love putting bad photos of me. Why am I Googling Google?
Dude, you'll break the fucking universe if you Google. Like, don't do that.
There we go.
Wow.
Damn.
Sugar snaps. Wow.
Yes.
That's Long Island.
That is stripping the hair color white and then using what could be a highlighter to color it back in.
Yes.
Rave it up.
It does show up very well under a black light.
Rave it up.
Also makes a great Christmas card, which your parents are not too happy about. But I did it, and that's just how it goes. We had classes and stuff. Now, I'll say this. Katie was and is a very attractive girl. And back in that, okay, we'll go with that. And back then, I was afraid to talk to her.
Stop.
Because
I had clear braces.
No, because of two reasons. No, you didn't have braces then.
I had clear braces.
They were clear. You didn't see them.
Okay, I didn't see
Video
them.
production class.
One, because she had a gaggle of girls that were always surrounding her, so you couldn't really talk to her unless you were doing a production. And then, two, I just was, I was very focused on what I was going to do for a living, and I didn't talk to girls much. So,
you were a dweeb.
I regret that, yes. Not that I didn't think I had a chance in anyway.
You got
But
this show?
what?
You got a studio?
This is all out of pity. This is all out of pity.
Don't make his hair turn bleach blonde.
So, do you have any, besides me telling you these things, any recollection of me in high school or any
I do,
kind of story
in video
of
production
me?
class.
Okay.
You were very quiet. You were very sweet.
Oh,
made a
damn.
video.
Something was so embarrassing. Like I said something or did something that I did not remember.
You're unmemorable.
Other than
you were very sweet. You were quiet.
Okay. That went
And I
nowhere.
had clear braces.
I had no idea.
Great. I guess they worked. I have actually a picture. I'll send it to you of video production class.
Am I in it?
With I have a bunch that Mr. Hodge took. Hodges or Hodges? Hodges. Mr. Hodges took.
He's very mysterious, Matt.
This is good.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
I hope this doesn't turn the wrong way.
No, but there's a picture. It was like video production 2, I guess. And it was, I don't remember. It was like the episode that we shot. I have to find this. I think I have a VHS of it as well. That's how old we are. But there's like a picture of all of us like dressed up. And I have the clear braces, and you're in one of the pictures.
Oh, look at you. You made the cut.
All right. So when she's super famous, I can go, look who I knew in high school, and then I'm cropped out of that photo when it gets spread around Twitter, like, oh my God, rare photo of Katie McGuire.
Like the back of Pad magazine, she just has it folded where you are so that you're kind of just taken out of it.
She's just there, and there's just this weird hand on her shoulder, like Thing from Addams Family.
Little blonde hair.
Little.
Memories.
Memories.
All right. I think there's nothing else to go with that. Other than I hated him, the teacher. I used to yell at him because he played the same song. You swear this was the only song he had royalties to. Every project, no matter what it was about, ended with Say Goodbye to Hollywood.
Yes.
We've talked about that on this show before.
I did?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
I remember this.
It was so annoying. It's like they just did a restaurant sketch. Why are you playing Say Goodbye to Hollywood? They just did a PSA about drug abuse. Why are we playing Say Goodbye to Hollywood?
I liked it. I'm going to turn those VHSs into DVDs.
Yes.
Hell
It
yeah.
needs to happen.
Yeah, let's put them up online.
Yeah.
Because we all have like the scripts and everyone's horrible.
The other thing they used
so
to do
bad.
too is that our high school had time with Cablevision public access, and every year they would put out like a video yearbook kind of thing.
Oh, really?
It was a half-hour show of all these productions that you would do, and then feature highlights of the prom for that year's graduating class. So they put, I think one of these things aired.
Really?
Yeah. If anyone has access to Cablevision public access, if you work for Cablevision, root around the archive, see if you can find anything from 1996.
Damn.
I would love to put that online because it's probably bad. We look adorable, but the acting was not.
That was horrible.
Oh, so many horrible, heavy Long Island accents.
Yes.
Love it.
It's just like, you should not do drugs. They're not good. Okay.
Yeah, Vinny, you get beat.
All right. Long Island, LIDivas.com for the web series. Billions is coming out in January, right? That's when the first episode
January
is.
17th is the premiere.
All right, so we'll talk about that and everything as we get closer to that. Katie McGuire and Catherine Callahan, thank you ladies so much for coming in. I appreciate it.
Good fun.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Sean Pertwee from Gotham.
Yay.
Be right back.
Sirius 206 XM 103. It's Erik Nagel.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the show Mr. Sean Pertwee. How are you, sir?
Very good. How are you?
I know you from a movie. Everybody knows you right now from Gotham, but I know you from a movie that I saw as a kid going into the teenage years and still watch to this day, and it absolutely terrifies me all the time. A movie called Event Horizon.
Oh, yeah. My gosh, yeah.
I think it's one of the most underrated as far as those thriller / space horror kind of movies, where it was always one I told people about, and they're like, I never heard of it. I'm like, no, you got to watch Event Horizon because it's just seriously messed up.
Yeah,
and the fact that it's being isolated out in space where there's no one to help makes it even worse.
That's right. It was a haunted house movie in space. That was what we tried to sort of achieve.
Right.
Yeah, and it's still got legs. It's really weird. I mean, after all these years, I think what was clever was they used a lot of models with CGI, early CGI to many respects, and it also looked sort of grimy and dirty. It looked for real. I mean, the sets were. They built this, the Lewis and Clark. It was actually built on gimbals. The whole thing actually was, had a sort of aft foredeck. It had it was split where there was 2 floors to it. The whole thing would move as one, as a ship. When we used to have money in films,
Yeah, but I think that's what makes it hold up, even though it wasn't a blockbuster by today's means. Even by then, those means, it was one of those movies I guess just became a cult hit.
That's right, yeah.
And the fact that you were using sets instead of, like a lot of people would tend to overdo it when brand new technology comes out. Everything has to be that brand new technology. You don't use the traditional ways anymore.
Adrian Biddle lit it, who of course, lit Blade Runner and stuff like that. So we had the 007 stage at Pinewood, which was that huge meat grinder thing, which, I've never seen a sort of set that large. I've ever been involved in anything that was sort of built to that sort of extent. It was a huge thing, and there was only 6 of us in it, so it was a real experience as a young actor to be in a film that cost that much money. And but what I'm proud about, it still has got legs. It still exists.
Whenever I'm not even saying when it's on cable,
I think it's on Netflix and stuff like that now.
Yeah, but I have the DVD. Sometimes I'll just go downstairs and go, you know what? I think I want to watch that again. You watch it and just.
It's the whole build up to it, isn't
right.
it? I mean, when you actually see Sam Neill as the monster, I think that spoiler, sorry. When you actually see him as the monster, it gets less scary, but it's the build up that, like you said, that thing of being in the middle, no one can hear you scream kind of vibe. It's just terrifying.
Right, and that's another thing too. I think the fact that you don't see exactly what's going on for so long until the end. I guess it's the old theater of the mind where no matter what it is being portrayed, it's never as good as what you think it is in your head.
Right. And that was the idea, but they changed it, the studio slightly changed it, was the ship, of course, is the conduit to this other level, which is hell. So when you come into contact with the actual ship, that's when you got these sort of images.
Right.
You got these images of, because you were the mouth of the black hole going into this other dimension. So, but they sort of they didn't think the audience would get that, so they sort of chipped away at that, and I think that's where it sort of lost its way slightly.
Do people still bring this movie up to you when
they
talk
do
to
that and Dog Soldiers, which is a werewolf movie that we did. Neil Marshall, who does Game of Thrones and stuff like that now, but it was his first sort of foray into cinema, and that is the one that still has, for me, people talk about the most.
Right.
Is that an Event Horizon? These are cult classics in my country. I don't know about people are beginning to see it here. Actually, Dog Soldiers here now.
People, nowadays, especially a younger audience, know you as Alfred on Gotham right now, which is Monday nights 8 p.m. on Fox. But before we delve into all my little nerdy questions about that, when did you start working? I mean, I know you started in, I guess, roughly in the late 80s with acting, but when did you start doing like your first American productions?
Well, I worked for American companies. I've done a couple of movies. I did Soldier with Kurt Russell. So I was doing sort of big old movies. I used to mainly do films. I very rarely did any television, actually, to be honest. I started off in the theatre and went straight into film. Started a film company with Jude Law, Johnny Lee Miller.
Some good partners to have.
Yeah, not bad, not too shabby. And we started this company, Natural Nylon. So, and then but I was working for American companies, but not normally in America, apart from Soldier.
I guess that's what, I'll rephrase my question then. When did you start working, actually doing productions in America?
Really was, the first one was Soldier, and then was, years later, was Elementary, which, I did an episode with my mate Johnny, and then they brought me back as Lestrade, and they flew me over to do some 3 or 4 episodes over here, and that's really how I got Gotham.
Doing Elementary, you did a handful of episodes as Gareth on Elementary here in the United States. How do you think that compares to what BBC is doing with Sherlock?
There's no comparison whatsoever, really. I mean, it's really interesting because everyone at this time, I mean, Cumberbatch was doing a version of Frankenstein with Johnny. And they both were going off to play Sherlock. Jude, our father friend, was playing Watson. I was playing Lestrade. We were all in Sherlock in some capacity.
In some form, yeah.
So, but they're not the same shows. I mean, they're completely different. Gatiss is doing the English version. It's become much more, for me, much more like Doctor Who, which is not my ideal. I mean, I'm just a plethora of people shouting at the radio station now, but it's not. I just find it. I love the earlier episodes of Benedict's version, and I just think that the Johnny's is the American version is it has the essence. It has the essence of an Englishman in New York, and him being the outside sort of element looking in, and I think that it's sort of an enduring thing, and people really love it and accept it. And I think they're on 4th season now, aren't they? And God knows how the pace that those guys work. I mean, having done a few, it's just extraordinary how Johnny achieves it. Is extraordinary. I mean, the thing is that the pace is completely different in England when you work in England, especially on TV, because we only do 6 episodes, or sometimes 8.
Yeah, you have shorter series.
Yeah, as opposed to 22. Here, when we start Gotham, it's like looking up the north face of the eye. You're going, well, I'll be here for the next 10 months, and it's a long, grueling work. It's about getting your head down and continue the work and continuing the standard. I think that it's when you do shows like Sherlock, probably in England, the BBC have much more time, more space to experiment.
Well, doing it in America, I know financially it's better for you doing an American series, but artistically it's kind of grueling as compared to what you're doing over in the UK.
No, not necessarily, because the thing is, like, it's sort of reached, we're talking about Elementary still, it's sort of reached, it's sort of reached it's got its own sort of heartbeat and following now. Very few shows, exist like that in England, that is so, they're like machines. I mean, they have so many people that work on them and that write on them, and they're sort of the intellect. I don't know where they're pulling these stories from, but they just seem to rifle through newspapers and find things that have happened that they draw from.
It's almost like Law and Order.
Yeah, but it's of a higher standard, I think, and of a higher acting quality as well. I think, Johnny and both Lucy, I think, are absolutely sort of phenomenal. So to be involved in a show like that it's like, getting smelling salts. It certainly wakes you up. And then being lucky enough to be involved in a show that's long running and that I'm very proud of, which is almost filmic. I think one of the worst reviews that we got from season 1 saying 40 minutes longer, it could have been a movie. So that's bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just always wondered because of Sherlock being such an icon in history for the UK, to have an American interpretation almost seems a little blasphemous.
Yeah, but it's not a genuine take of the original Sherlock, though, is it, really?
Yeah.
It's a reimagining of a character.
It's doing very well.
Redefining it, rather. Not imagining, redefining, really.
It did defy a lot of the criticism for going into it, because that's like taking Faulty Tower, when they tried to do an American Faulty Towers, or if they made Doctor Who American, these British staples that you don't think would translate over here, but Elementary seems to be doing it.
They tried to do Faulty Towers over here?
A long time ago in the 90s.
God.
I forgot what it's called, but they tried to do it.
I'm really pleased I missed that.
Yes, so is everybody else. We try to forget about that. Let's talk about you in Gotham here. You're playing Alfred Pennyworth.
Yeah.
More of an interesting look into the life of Alfred in season 2 than in season 1, because season 1, Bruce's parents have died. It's still fresh. He's a kid now, filling the shoes of being sort of the parent to Bruce, and you're just trying to make sure he's okay. Now in season 2, time to move on from grieving and time to make you into who you're going to be and live your life. As in any family, you had some struggles with him where you kind of did something that was against what Bruce thought would be better judgment. He was trying to continue on his dad's work, and you felt you were protecting him. He fired you, but you reconciled. Now you're in full training mode with Bruce.
Yeah.
Where you're not going to take any of his guff. You're not going to treat him like billionaire son anymore. Now you're taking the role of dad and looking out for his well-being here. They did put a spotlight onto something where Bruce was saying that you lived a very rough and dangerous life. Do they explore more of that going in through the rest of season 2?
I was talking to Bruno about this. I mean, you had elements in season 1 and stuff with when Reggie, his past, comes back to visit him. But the thing is, when they write, the showrunners were explaining to me, when you write things in the past, it becomes a lattice work of confusion. And I think that the interesting thing always is to find out about sort of subtextual elements of characters by going forward, by things that have affected them, things that may affect them in the future. And you definitely see Alfred sort of interacting with the real world again, not just with Bruce,
right,
in his physical manner, because he as you saw in season 1, that why he was under the employ of the richest man in the world was because he can look after himself and look after the Wayne family. In fact, so much so he was made a guardian. He never asked to be a guardian.
Right.
So you'll definitely see him sort of his former SAS training reveal itself again. You definitely start to realize, I mean, that their relationship becomes much more sort of contractual as well as fatherly, because you have to find a way of a hook of communicating with the teenage. You have to find a way of being able to communicate, and they make this contract after basically him firing him, to saying that they will work together. Because otherwise he'd lose him. He knows that. Alfred knows that. But also he's growing to love him, because after his sort of folly in trusting an ex-friend and being stabbed, he sort of definitely questions his own mortality, and suddenly realizes he wouldn't complete his oath if he popped his clogs and died. So he has to be there for Bruce. So that's the journey that we're taking now, that you'll see them coming together, and you'll see the elements of Alfred's past in the going forward of training Bruce to becoming the man that we later know, and love, who dons the cowl,
Right.
It has to get to the bottom before we can reach the top, so he can rise Phoenix-like from the ashes.
I know it was explained as to why you were picked to be the Guardian, and why Bruce's dad trusted you and everything like that, but do they explore, or maybe you narrate more as to why the run-in or the connection that you had with Bruce's dad, as to why you came about in the first place?
I don't know.
No,
no. I honestly, I don't know. The thing is, it's like opening scripts on our show. It's like opening a Christmas present, and any one of the actors would tell you that. You never really know. You get general ideas of arcs, which way they're going, but you might well. I mean, I know. Subtextually, I wrote a Bible which I presented to Bruno and to Danny, and they had ideas as well, a character Bible, a sort of character study, that my opinion of this character. You try to stay away from the stuff that had been previously written, the text was written in previous performances, because you need to find someone live and breathe and find his own heartbeat. And I was kind of chuffed really later on, to when I did started looking back, at how much we'd actually how many boxes we'd actually ticked in some of the sort of mythos that have been written about this character for 75 years. So,
one of the good things about being in, I guess you could call this in a prequel universe, to where we usually pick up Batman is where Bruce's parents are killed, and then it fast forwards to Bruce being an adult. It usually skips this period here, which you guys are exploring. But unlike some of the other stories, Michael Caine I thought was great in as Alfred in the movies
Goff as well. Yeah.
And you have the. I guess it's a privilege, really, where you have this opportunity where even though there's certain parts of the origin you got to follow, you get to help interpret what makes Alfred later on.
Well, it's only when I started rewatching. I've watched every sort of incarnation of Batman and the Batman world all my life. I've always been a fan.
Do you read the comics too?
Yeah, I used to read them back, when I was a kid. Yeah. I've been reading the Jeff Johns ones recently as well, the Earth ones as well, which are really sort of interesting. But there was so many sort of like little sort of taps to where he came from, which Michael Caine did, which I thought was really interesting, and which I only sort of realised after I rewatched them after we'd started shooting Gotham, was that he said he fought in he fought in Yemen. And that's, I know for a fact, the SAS were there. But he also never said he was with the SS. He said he was a Marine, with a Marine regiment. But the thing is, the SAS always say that they're seconded from one regiment to another. There were these little sort of hints to his past, his previous sort of work.
When they come out with outlines and say, this is the next couple episodes, here's where the story arc is going, because it's new territory, do they ever say, how do you feel about this? Do you get some input of, like, what do you think Alfred would do in this situation, or what would he say here?
More so now, definitely. I mean, I think the thing was with season 1, we were given the honour of doing 6 more episodes when we'd actually reached episode 11, which was put, it's pandemonium in the writers' room, I should imagine, when we went from 16 to 22. So more so now, and more so that we're sort of deeply rooted and seated in our characters now, that we sort of have a much better idea in which way we're going. There are elements of that, but of course it starts off better in the beginning of the season when things are more sort of approachable and you get blocks of 4 scripts. Now we've caught up with ourselves. We've just finished the mid-season finale, which we just finished on Thursday. So you know what I mean? We're sort of backing up again. Now we get this breathing hiatus of 4 months where we're not on air. So we'll start to have more input and more sort of discussions into which way our characters are sort of going. But we all had the conversation now with Bruno, is that we've, I don't want to sound sort of arrogant, but we've basically now embodied the characters that we set out. The world now out there, the fanboys and fangirls, that's extremely vociferous, as you know.
Yeah.
And if they don't like something, like they were not keen in Alfred's behaviour to begin with.
Especially after season 1,
they were loud, and they were very loud about my sort of interpretation of where I was going with Alfred.
You were very bad. I mean, you still are, but it was more shown in season 1. You were very badass. Like, you were a no guff kind of guy. Like, you weren't taking anybody's shit.
That's right.
And I think that's what needed to be for that character, because when you get to the point that everybody knows, Alfred's still hard but a little softer because he's a family guy now, and rather than being a servant.
Exactly right. That's the route that we're taking, very much so. That was a great thing about Michael Gough's performance as well, which funny enough, it was on the TV the other day, was the genuine love and the parental love that he had, which Sir Michael didn't necessarily have. There was more of an understanding and a world weariness about Sir Michael's performance, but Michael Gough was absolutely wonderful as Alfred as well, and he was a sort of softer but a more parental. It had more of a sort of parental approach,
right?
And understanding. They almost moved together. You could see that they actually were, lived together. There was more of a sort of real, genuine, believable relationship, I think, between those two.
This season is billed as Rise of the Villains.
Yeah.
And it's going in a different direction than season 1, which was every week was, crime of the week kind of thing, almost a bit Law and Order-ish, rather than focusing on some of the smaller story arcs that could get bigger as the seasons go on. But now they're starting to focus more on that with season 2 here. We've seen origins for Poison Ivy, obviously the Penguin there. Now we're starting to see Bridget come into her own as Firefly. Jerome could have been the Joker, but maybe he's influencing the future Joker or whatever's going on there. Being a longtime Batman fan, you had to have some villains that were your like absolute favorites.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Clayface, Strange, Mad Hatter, but two of which Freeze is coming into the show.
Right.
And Hugo Strange, which is the really interesting one, actually, because this is a huge tie-in. I can't give too much away.
I love that you just did not default to the key villains that everybody always goes to.
Yeah.
I like when people have some of the smaller story villains, but they have a personal attachment to them.
Exactly. Well, I think that you're going to see a lot more of them. This season is called Rise of the Villains, but you know, you're beginning to see sort of partnerships, aren't you? You're beginning to see relationships where you think, well, these two worlds are going to collide, and they're going to collide quite soon. So you think, well, what's going to happen in season 3? I actually know the idea behind season 3. And it's going to be, you know, we've tapped at the Red Hood gang, we've tapped at the Joker legacy. We know Freeze is coming in. We know some of these more flamboyant characters that have costumes are coming in. The Riddler's now interacting with Penguin, and they've met. And you think, so where are we going with this? The world is about to explode. Like I was saying to you before, it's a long, long, bumpy ride down for Gotham to need Batman to rise from the ashes phoenix-like. Just a long way down, and that's going to be the interesting thing. I mean, we're going to continue to descend into utter chaos. The great thing is about this season as well that we feel confident about is we've been split into 11 episodes and 11 episodes. And I know that there's a story up with Galavan and Sister Tabitha, segues, and then there's going to be a break, and there's another element to the second part of season 2.
Right.
It's a bit confusing. But then but the thing is, the overall arc, that everything is embodied, and it's a very clever take.
One of the signs I saw as far as family bonding between Alfred and Bruce was the charity benefit with Jerome going crazy. And towards the end of it, well, throughout that episode, Alfred was kind of flirting with Detective Gordon's girlfriend, the
Leslie Tompkins.
Yeah. And it wasn't known till the very end, when all of a sudden you're walking out and you go, "You knew the whole time. You let me." That really was, I think, the first kind of warm moment of Bruce kind of
them needling each other,
and really making Alfred look kind of foolish in a loving way.
Exactly.
It wasn't just cold, Alfred, I need this or that, Master Butler kind of thing. That was starting to break down and showing a family moment when he kind of dicked you over there. That was really a laugh aloud moment.
Yeah. It was great. I mean, it was great. And also I love the little sort of slight nod to the fact, I know you're a fan, but Alfred and Leslie Tompkins were supposed to have an affair in the books, apparently, allegedly, she was his psychoanalyst. And so that was kind of interesting that Bruno actually sort of encompassed that. The writers encompassed that sort of element, the fact that I flirted. So people are out there that are really into that kind of stuff would have known that Alfred and Leslie Tompkins actually did meet later on in life, and she almost became like a surrogate mum to Bruce. Not in our version, of course. This is our reimagining.
Well, you just answered my next question. That's where I was going to go. But that being said, do we see a love interest somewhere down the line for Alfred?
I don't know, but
he can't be alone all the time.
No. Well, I know. I think we've sort of we've realised that he's got OCD. That he actually, I love that sort of that vehicle that we're now using. That you never see anyone else in the manor. That who does the dusting, who does the cooking, who does the driving, who does everything. He does everything. He can't sleep because he has post-traumatic stress, and that's something that is another subtextual point. But it's a guise that basically people now have accepted that Alfred does everything and he's always there. So he gets very little time. But he flirted. I don't know if you remember. He flirted with Fish Mooney, and he flirted with the beautiful, two very beautiful ladies, and of course Leslie Tompkins played Marina.
He's very debonair.
Yeah, he is. He's still
for such a gruff guy.
He's still got moves, mate.
Let me ask you about the discovery of the cave under the mansion there.
Yeah.
The door with the combination, which you guys blew open. Now, at one point, you just start destroying everything, thinking that you're protecting Bruce.
Yeah.
And you said, had I known what was down here, I never would have let you. But something seemed a little off about that. Did Alfred really know ahead of time, and he's just playing coy with this?
Again, saying I'll tell the absolute truth is that I always thought that I did know to a certain degree what was down there. I spoke to Bruno, and I didn't know. I mean, the way that I played it, I knew that Thomas Wayne was doing something. I knew he was up to it. And listen, I was his confidant, his valet, and everything like that. So I'm pretty convinced that I would have known what was kind of going on. But I was assured by Bruno, by the showrunners, that I actually didn't know what was behind the door. And that's the honesty answer.
Okay, fair enough. One other scene I want to bring up it was another laughing moment. You're waiting outside of the school for Bruce, and you're about to introduce that his training starts now. But you're sitting there, and you turn around, and Selena Kyle's on the wall, and she hops down in her overly dramatic Catwoman foreshadowing, as she does, and she's just standing there, and you turn around, and you clock her. And you said, I know you killed Reggie. Now, rightfully so, but still, the moment, if you didn't know the story and just happened to tune in, this older guy just punched this younger girl.
Slapped her.
Really was very funny.
That was the, it's very interesting you should say funny, because I tell you what, my phone spring fell out the side, and there's gales of abuse I got for bashing up a small young girl.
But it seemed justified.
I mean, it is justified. I mean, it still is a world of Gotham. She's worked for two of the biggest crime bosses.
Right.
She's stolen, she's murdered, she's stabbed, she carries a flick knife, she's a thief, she's an absolute crim.
Yeah.
Right? And the thing is, and not only that, Alfred, is a notorious slap. You should never ever hit anyone, let alone a child. But in actual fact, her reaction told the exact story. Her reaction was, she looked like a little girl for the first time. Going,
when she started crying.
You want to put on, be in the big world, put on some big boy trousers then, and take a slap in the face, because this stuff really hurts. And it really shocked her. And in fact, it's going to be interesting, you see, with their relationship, which way they start to go now. Because in actual fact, he was, in a bizarre way, doing the responsible thing.
Right.
It made her realize she was a child again.
And I'm not condoning, punching a girl or a woman or anything like that. But in the case of that story and the situation, the fact that, I guess by today's standards, that it was allowed, that scene in there. I think it was funny because I wasn't expecting it. It threw me off, so I laughed because I didn't know how to react to it. But the fact that they allowed it to happen really, and like you said, really showed where this is going and proved the point of the story. And I got to give you and everybody behind Gotham there, kudos for going with that and really not constricting the storytelling based on standards.
Modern interpretation is exactly
that.
right. It's a big, dangerous, badass world out there, and the thing is, if you want to step up to the plate, you've got to be able to take it as well as give it.
Right.
And that was what Alfred was saying. It was Reggie stabbed him, but the thing was he wanted to take care of it. That's his part of his Bushido SAS oath. He says to Bruce, and he says
that
to
was
her,
your kill.
It's not my kill, or
your vengeance,
my vengeance, or my pursuit into whatever I was going to do to the guy. But it was a real moment, and people were genuinely sort of shocked by it. But I still stand by it, and I stand by the sort of bravery in many respects to show. And also, it was a toned down version of the slap.
Right.
I mean, there was about 4 different versions, and people were convinced that it was a punch and a slap. And also, she's extremely she's a beautiful girl. I love her to death, Cam, but and her character is much loved. But you want to kind of say, hang on a minute, guys, why? She's an appalling influence. She doesn't, she carries knives, she steals, she murders.
Right.
Really? Would you have that around your child? No, you wouldn't.
The kids are not kids in this show, and they're not treated like kids in this show, and that's the way it should be as far as the storytelling for Gotham being, it's not a wholesome place.
No.
It's very dark and cruel world that it's really showing reality, I guess. In reality, a lot of people kind of, put that foggy lens in front of reality. It's like, maybe we won't do it. No, he would exactly do that, and they're showing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Prove the point.
Yeah.
Before we go, I only have a couple minutes left here with you. Talking with Sean Pertwee, Gotham, Monday nights, 8 p.m. on Fox. 2 quick things. One, you've done so much video game work, which I'm always amazed with people who get the voiceover work for video games and animation and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was doing it quite early on. I do a lot of voiceovers anyway in my own country. But I play games, and I'm appalling. I've been absolutely appalling at playing the bloody things. I get shot in the face in the first 4 minutes. Any chance you got in games like Call of Duty is you buy it on the first day,
right,
and you rush to a computer console to play it, and then you might last for 2 minutes. But by day 2, everyone's got the game, and you're just annihilated. But the thing is, I love the way that it's pushed technology. I've always sort of played the games. I still do play the games, and I was lucky enough. I kind of was into it before other people were doing voice work for games like that. I knew
before it was becoming a cool thing to do.
Cool thing to do. And I remember Brian Cox, who I was at the RSC with, and talking to Brian about it, and we did like Killzone. one of these sort of big great games for the
you were
PS4.
Colonel Haka.
I host Haka, and then I went back to Radek and all this, and I played another character in it. And it was that we did motion capture. It's moved on so far, and I've always been interested in technology, and especially it genuinely affects. I know that 45 million people in the world buy something for 50 quid. I mean, that is bigger than any film that you could possibly sort of release.
Right.
So you go, come on, as an actor, there's an opportunity here to do something, of which I have to say, sort of, a lot of the computer manufacturers and game makers, sort of like a regressive sort of dweebs, that they think that they know everything, and they bloody don't, because the one thing they don't understand is sort of like drama. And I think that's going to be the interesting thing, is when they actually sort of manage to sort of amalgamate the two, technology, but leave the directing to some directors and some actors.
Well, outside of the first-person shooter games, a lot of the video games are well written now. Like, there's really in-depth storytelling and multiple layers and arcs and things going on. So it's like you're playing an actual movie
I
being in the game.
actually did a game, funnily enough, with Nick Frost, who's in Shaun of the Dead and stuff like that. We just did one down the line to London. I can't remember the name of it, but it's completely immersive. It's complete virtual reality, and it's the first game of its type to do complete virtual reality. You wear these glasses and you're completely immersed,
like the Oculus Rift kind of thing.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
I'm running out of time with you, but 2 games that I want to give a note that recognized you from was Fable 3. And you were in Assassin's Creed Black Flag?
Something like that,
yeah. Like that. Great franchises to be a part of, by the way. So you got 2 great video game franchises. You got Gotham going on. Before we leave, I have to ask you, because I am a personal fan of your father and of Doctor Who. And that Halloween photo that you put out where you dressed as your dad just kind of, the term, blew up the internet. People went nuts when you were donning your dad's old outfit.
Yeah, it was a bit of a panic thing. I was going to a party with a friend of mine, and I didn't know what to wear, and I just found the wig. I thought, I'll go as my dad. I had a couple of sherbets, a couple of tequilas. Didn't really realise what I was doing. Put it on the internet, and it absolutely went viral. It was kind of the weirdest thing. And even my mum said, "No, that's your papa, that's your dad." And she didn't even know it was me. And then there was a sort of dearth of stuff where people were photoshopping my head and putting my dad's hair on it and stuff like that, which was hilarious. And boy, do I look like him.
And he's such a beloved series. Your dad is very beloved. And there's a lot of homages and callbacks to your dad's time as the Doctor in the current 12th Doctor that Peter Capaldi's playing. There's a lot of throwbacks, some one-liners, and
what he wears,
the cadence, what he wears, and sometimes the actions. Other than wanting a roadster to drive around in, he's pretty much showing a lot of influence from your dad's period.
He used to run my dad's fan club when he was a boy. When he was 12 years old, he used to run the Doctor Who fan club in Scotland. And I remember meeting Peter years and years and years ago, when I was very little, in fact. And he was being very kind to my family when my father passed away. And like you said, there are these homages and odes and nods to my dad. There's sort of the silk lining, red silk lining, and the posturing, and it's there. And it must be an incredible thing for him to do after being a boyhood fantasy, playing that character, to then later become Doctor Who. 12.
With showing that photo and it becoming as big as it did, has Moffat or BBC reached out to you saying that maybe at some point we'll do a flashback to your dad and want you to do that?
They never said anything like that, but I was, I was asked to do something which I couldn't do in my hiatus, but I'd love to go and do something in some capacity. But my dad's very large Cuban heel boots are big to fill, you know what I mean?
If they did call you up and say, hey, we want to do a little, meeting of the doctors kind of thing, would you go and portray your dad?
I don't know.
Don't know. Okay.
Let's try.
Just thought I would ask. Sean Pertwee, thank you so much. Sean Pertwee on Twitter. Gotham, Monday nights, 8 p.m. on Fox. He plays Alfred Pennyworth. Of course, you knew that. Sir, it's been an honor. Thank you so much for coming on. And next time you're in New York, I'd love to talk to you again.
Well, I'm here all the time. Thank you very much.
All right, we'll do. Thanks.
It's Erik Nagel. Erik and Matt will be right back. Sirius 206 XM 103. It's Erik Nagel.
You were on my show last year.
Yes,
so I'm gonna say
remember.
Welcome back. You don't remember. That's
I
sweet of
do
you.
remember.
You do not.
I do
you do
remember.
thousands of interviews.
No.
There's no way you would remember little old me.
I do remember.
Other than I kept asking you about Doctor Who, and you said you didn't like Doctor Who.
We weren't in this studio. We were in another one over there.
No, over
That's
yes.
it, over that one.
Okay.
It was. I do remember.
You're so sweet for saying that. Let me tell everybody who I'm talking to. Erin Richards is back on the show. You know her as Barbara Keene on Gotham. Erin, thank you for coming back and saying that you remember. We'll just go with that. Yeah, you do. Last time you were here, I was asking you like everybody who's from the UK that I get a chance to talk to, I asked you about Doctor Who, and I guess you were at that weird age where it was off the air for when you were growing up, so you didn't really get into it like people are now with the new incarnations or people with the fascination of the old incarnations, especially working with Sean Pertwee when his dad was one of the more famous doctors. Have you now, a year later? Did you bother to go on Netflix? No, I can see on the look on your face you still have not.
I told you before, like my sci-fi taste is like intense sci-fi.
Right.
You know, I read all the Philip K. Dick books. I have like The Abyss is like my all-time favorite.
That's
sci-fi
credible.
film,
I'll give you that.
I like although The Abyss is like slightly, like at the end it's slightly ridiculous, but
with them touching each other in the water.
Just when the ship comes up and you're like, oh really? Like that's it. There's not.
Why couldn't it be like Leviathan? You know,
it's like a piece
start
of
killing
plastic.
everybody. Don't be friends.
No, I like being friends. It just all looked a bit tacky at the end. But anyway, they didn't have much. You know, it was a long time ago. So I like very much that Peter Capaldi put him as the new Doctor. I think that's a good choice.
Yes.
I very much like Matt Smith, and I have liked the Doctors. It's just a little too over the top for me, for my tastes.
Okay.
I like my sci-fi slightly more seeped in like reality.
Okay, so this is a little too campy, I guess, would you say? Or?
A little for me. But I'm not a fan.
Right.
It's just not my like go-to.
How far into sci-fi do you like the horror version of sci-fi, or do you like really intense science stuff?
I like intense science stuff.
Okay.
And I just like that thing of like, what if in 50 years time this is what the world is? Do you know what I mean? Like,
all right.
I like seeing where we could be. I like kind of taking situations that are relevant to us as human beings and developing that.
All right, let me ask you about this then. 1996, there's a movie called Minority Report, but you were, what, 10?
But I
okay, so you saw it later. That is a movie, even it was very sci-fi, but predicted a lot of stuff that came to be when he was doing the whole moving stuff digitally without a screen and all that stuff, and now here it is.
And now it's a TV show.
Right.
Comes on right after Gotham.
But I mean, so something along those lines, Star Trek, a lot of stuff from Star Trek became reality.
I'm more Star Wars than Star Trek.
Good
Not
for
that
you.
Star Wars is reality, but
not at all.
just
But
like
good
that.
for you.
Yeah.
Are you excited for the new one?
Huge.
Did you buy your tickets the night that Fandango crashed and the trailer showed on football here in the United States?
No, I did not buy my tickets yet, but I'm big. I'm really.
I don't think you need to. I think being with Fox, I think it's somewhere they could get you a pass. Maybe not the premiere, but a private screening.
On the way. Yeah, I'll see if I can sort that out.
All right, she's looking to the side, so I'm guessing this is already set up and you have plans for this. So it's great to be in your position.
Yeah. We'll see.
One more sci-fi thing, and then we'll move on.
Okay.
It's pretty much Gotham Day here on the show. I just spoke with Sean Pertwee. And were you a fan of Event Horizon?
What was that?
It was a deep space sci-fi movie. He was in it.
Event Horizon.
Event Horizon. It's one of the more terrifying sci-fi horror films that I can remember.
See, I'm not like horror. I'm not great with horror.
It was sci-fi that turned into horror.
Right. Yeah. Right. Okay. I just don't. I have a very active imagination. So.
Okay, so now you have two assignments for Netflix. You have Doctor Who, which we know you're not going to get to, but Event Horizon, you should definitely check out. It'll terrify you, especially watch it at night when the lights are off.
Oh, great.
You'll love it.
Thanks.
But
welcome to me not sleeping for the rest of the year.
But let's move on to why you're here. Of course, Gotham. We're well into season 2. It's Monday nights, 8 p.m. on Fox. Barbara Keene is out of her mind. When we last talked to you, we were in the middle of season 1, and Barbara was very sweet. I wouldn't say innocent, but a little bit more naive. You didn't know if Barbara led a very sheltered life, and wasn't as street knowledge like James Gordon and a lot of the other characters were very rough and a lot of grime to them. Barbara was always kind of well polished and sort of like the white light kind of, had to be protected in a way and handled delicately. And then season 1 ends and we go into season 2 and Barbara goes apeshit crazy.
Yeah, she go crazy.
Now,
great.
The story goes that Barbara killed her parents. And when you were being checked into Arkham or being interrogated, they were saying, no, somebody else killed your parents, and you're taking full responsibility, saying, no, I killed my parents. You were determined to go to prison, to be a villain, to accept this new persona, and it doesn't seem fake. But it seems the way this is going, this seems like this was her all along, and she didn't even know it.
Yeah, exactly. the fake Barbara was the Barbara from season 1. She was like putting on all these layers and levels to be who she thought everyone wanted her to be.
Right.
And then she killed her parents, and she was like, "Oh, screw it! Like this is who I am.
Nope, me. This is who I am.
This is who I am."
Putting the feet up on the table and
just totally free. Just like screw you all.
It's in a weird way, being that you're so young and the character is so young. It's sort of like a midlife crisis where you hit your rebellious teenage period in your mid-20s.
Yeah, midlife crisis.
Yeah, a midlife halfway point to the midlife crisis.
A quarter life crisis.
Now here's where you're going to rebel and smoke and hang out late with the cool kids.
Yeah, yeah.
So when they tell you this, I mean, you obviously knew this going when you were finishing up season 1. When they started getting everything together for season 2, did they pretty much instruct you on where you were going, or did they give you some input and said, hey, we're looking to go this direction with the character. What do you think? What could we add to this? Did they seek your input or your spin on how you might be able to say things and do things, or was it just like, here it is and go? This is the direction you're going with?
I mean, I think we had lots of conversations during the first season, and we hang out a lot, like the cast and the creators, and I think they sort of took who I am, like, not that I'm crazy and I would ever kill my parents, but like I definitely have like a more sort of free, rebellious side than what Barbara originally was. So I think they sort of incorporate that into the second season, in that they know that would be what I would love to play, that would be really fun and freeing for me to do. The input, I guess, is like, it's just like a constant conversation between everybody, rather than like specifically sitting down and being like, hey, what do you want to do?
Right. As I was saying to Sean, the period that you guys are in now, for all intents and purposes, it's a prequel universe. Because Batman always starts off with Bruce's parents being killed, and then it jumps forward to Bruce being an adult and going through what he does. Here you guys are going from Bruce's parents being killed, and then day by day. It's a slow burn and things are developing. A lot of character development, story development, new and stuff that's consistent to the comic books. Where would you like Barbara to go?
Okay.
Because there's nothing really written for her based on the old Batman lore.
Yeah. I think that she, right now, she's like in her kind of free kind of element. So I think that the most fun place for her to go would be like to the kind of most extreme areas of Gotham that she can go. She could like hook up with any of the villains, like hooking up with Penguin would be really fun, and kind of exploring that.
Well, you're kind of doing that right now with Theo. And
but not with Penguin.
Tabitha.
Yeah. So I'm hooking up with those villains, and that relationship's a really interesting one, because they're like using each other a lot. She's there with Tabitha, and she's sort of using her because she's this strong woman. She's definitely using Galavan because he has this power. But once she's done with them, she'll just kind of sack them off. She'll move on to the next one. So I think
she does seem a bit of a user.
She is a user, yeah. She's just,
almost a succubus. She's take what I want and then charge. You take their energy, take everything you need, and then now you move up to a next level and move on to leeching onto somebody else and taking what they got.
Yeah, I think she's just
a survivor.
Exactly. Thank you. She's definitely that. She's Beyonce she's the Beyonce of the Gotham world.
Let's talk a little bit about where she's going with everything here. You got taken out of Arkham Asylum. You're involved with Tabitha and Theo Galavan, and weird chemistry there because you're hooking up with the sister, but maybe or sort of hooking up with the brother. Yeah. But then you don't know if they're really blood relation either. So there's like so many questions. Every time something cool comes on, it goes, all right, now there's 4 more questions that's added on to these 2 questions that I'm never going to get an answer for.
Yeah, well, there's some really, we just filmed a lot of really interesting stuff that happened with Galavan.
All right.
So that's
which Galavan?
What do you mean? Theo.
With Theo.
Oh, right. Yeah. Good point. With Theo Galavan. He's just called Galavan in the series, but, like on the scripts and stuff, that's why I get confused. But James Frain is playing him, and there's like this huge development that happens with him that has just been filmed. I get confused between like what's been aired, because obviously I'm watching them, and then I'm reading them at the same time. So I'm like being really careful about
you're going to be really confused, because from what I read, you're doing 11 episodes on a little bit of a hiatus, and then 11 more episodes.
Well, we don't have a hiatus. We film right through.
Oh, okay. It's just the airing.
Okay. As a hiatus. But episode 8 is like the big one for my character, for Barbara, coming up. So she has this big love triangle between her, Jim Gordon, and Lee. And that all plays out in episode 8.
It's such the perfect psycho girlfriend because you love him to death, but again, you want him dead. It's like, I want to love you and kill you at the same time.
I don't want him dead. Galavan thinks I want him dead, but
Barbara wants because he said that we're going to leave, once we're done with James Gordon, we're going to leave his death to you. So I thought that was something you wanted.
No, I just want him back. Like, I want to bring him into this dark place that I've created for myself.
So you didn't want to, you want to be with him, just not in how he is. You want to bring him to your side and be with him over there.
I'm like, Jim, I know what's inside you. You're like this crazy dark character like I am.
Right.
So stop pretending to be
so wholesome, Mr. Moral.
Yeah, Mr. like good cop. It's boring. So I'm like, come in and be with me.
Really simple. Have him grow a goatee, and then he's evil Gordon. That seems to be the way it works in sci-fi. And those Dick Dastardly mustaches, right?
That you can twirl on the ends.
There was a lot of hype around your guys' presentation at San Diego Comic-Con. You guys did the panel. But since then, I've seen this nonstop, so I'm going to try to find a different way to phrase this. I know people constantly were asking you about you and Jerome being the Joker and Harley Quinn, and there's no more answers that you can give to that. But in one of the, I'll say, maybe it's episode 5, somewhere in there, 4 or 5, Jerome is killed.
Right.
And this isn't a spoiler to anybody. If you haven't seen season 2, we're well into it. You got to catch up. We're through the looking glass here, as they say. His father sort of put a curse on him and said, even, you will be the plague, the nightmare of this city. So even though he's coming off very Joker-like and everybody thinks he's going to be the Joker, he dies, but something translates through the television broadcast with his laugh and his persona that it starts possessing a lot of people to become that. So if that's the way it's going, Jerome will eventually lead to the Joker by somebody possessing Jerome's spirit or cadence or whatever, all that stuff. So is it possible that even that you may not be Harley Quinn, but whatever your character is, will lead to the essence being possessed by somebody else who eventually will become Harley Quinn?
Potentially, although you say Jerome died, but nobody ever
as far as we know.
Nobody ever really dies in Gotham.
Okay, fair enough.
So, he may be inspiring other people. He may...
You don't know.
You don't know.
God damn you and your logic. All right. Because I'm just going based on what we've seen so far.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things in Gotham that can reinstate people or, bring them back from some sort of death.
Thought I had something here, and I guess you just put the whole kibosh on it.
I know.
All right. Moving on. What happened to the art gallery?
I know. I kept saying to
this
Bruno,
poor girl had a thriving business. She was part of the upper elite. There was all these benefits and parties, and then also she goes crazy, and that art gallery's just left there to rot.
I was always saying to Bruno, I was like, can we maybe have her working one day, like in the art gallery, like in season 1? Like, Bruno, can she maybe just go to the art gallery once? And it's just
maybe she steals her artwork back from people who've taken it since she lost the art gallery.
Right. That
almost Catwoman-ish.
Yeah. I feel like maybe she just used to show her pieces from her home, and now it's gone. She's done with art. She's over it. She's going to make her own art.
One of the cool things that Gotham does is they don't get campy with the outfits.
Right.
Like, the problem with a lot of the 90s Batman movies were the Michael Keaton ones were great. They were dark. They stayed true to what Batman shouldn't be cheery and vivid colors,
No.
and
what was
villains
that?
should stand out, but also be matted in a grayish kind of way.
Yeah.
That was a big problem, with the outfits, the nipples with George Clooney.
George Clooney crotch montage.
That, the Val Kilmer, even the Val Kilmer Batman, and then the character, like when they did Poison Ivy and Bane wasn't, didn't make sense being in there, and everything was that, that blacklight kind of color stuff.
Yeah.
They're staying kind of true to the grit and the grime of what it should be. What do you want to see, like, your outfit here? Like, because they won't go vivid nonsense, but what do you think will be the outfit that shows the persona of what Barbara's going to be?
That Barb's is going to be, I don't know. I mean, that would kind of give away who she's going to be if I did that.
So I could backdoor that one too. Okay. Cross that one off.
Sneaky.
I'm trying.
In.
Let's go with public perception then.
Okay.
For you, Erin Richards, not for
You're like,
Barbara.
I don't think this. The public think this.
No, not at all. These are definitely my thoughts.
All right. Okay.
I want to talk about Erin Richards for a moment here.
Okay.
People knew you best, I would say, up until now, from the BBC version of Being Human.
Yes.
I have to assume people are coming up to you and recognizing you more for being Barbara on Gotham now, right?
Yeah.
So are you still seeing like a 50-50 kind of mix as far as when people recognize you, where it's from, or is it leaning more towards Gotham now that people are coming up and say, oh my God, can I take a photo? Can you sign something?
Yeah, I would say it's probably more Gotham at the moment. I mean, people, I think if they come up and they start talking about Gotham and then we chat for a bit, they mention other stuff. But yeah, Gotham is like because it's the one that's on right now. You know?
Okay. All right. Let me jump back to Barbara then.
Okay.
You got to tell your guys not to talk to IMDb because it kind of reveals by the character, by the episode amount for the character, where they're going to be in the season. You're at 44, so that means you get through season 2.
Interesting.
But some of the other characters have like 38 episodes.
Oh, that's
or 30.
boring,
yes.
isn't it?
So I'm looking at them like that. I'm like, well, it's not boring. It's kind of spoilerish.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like boring for people watching. They're like, oh, I know now. Like,
right.
They don't want to know. I love people to be surprised.
Well, I'm surprised. I was like, oh, good. She made it through season 2. And I know they're talking season 3 already here. The outfits that they're putting you in just to make you evil is getting sexier and sexier, which I'm not complaining. I'm a big supporter of that.
She's going like harder rather than sexier.
Is she trying too hard?
She's not wearing hard. Like harder. She's not wearing dresses no more.
No, when you came in when they had Penguin in Theo's office, and you came in with the peach colored.
That's like a night. That's a night slip.
You're like, hello, how are you?
Yeah, she's like by day she's in like these pants and shoes, and then by night she's in all the like lingerie and stuff. Because she's seducing Theo and
the audience.
And well, she's not thinking about the audience. She's living in a world where there's no audience, but she's definitely having to keep Theo and Tabitha interested because that's her main kind of source of protection right now. But once she doesn't need them anymore, she's like a chameleon. She'll just slip into whatever role or night dress she needs to.
And it also seems very tiring for that character because she's constantly spinning plates. And there's never a clear objective of what her goal is, where all the other villains are like, he's doing this, he's doing that, he wants that, and she's like, well, I'm over here. You never know this web that she's weaving, where she's going with it.
She just wants to be free. Like, she just wants to be in the darkness. She's playing. She's in Gotham and she's playing.
I'm running out of time with you, Erin. Is there anything that you can tell us further about Barbara's development for season 2?
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, that would be a no. I tried, everybody. I did the best I could.
Well done.
But
you did a really good job.
She's a tough nut to crack. Erin, thank you so much. Erin R. Richards on Twitter. She, of course, is on Gotham. She plays Barbara Monday nights, 8 p.m. on Fox. Thank you so much, Erin. I appreciate it. And next year, when you come back in here, I'll know you won't watch Doctor Who by then, but we can talk about season 3 and see where Barbara is.
I'll watch one episode of Doctor Who for you. How about that?
I don't think you're going to do that, but that's fine. Erin, thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
It's Erik Nagel. Erik and Matt will be right back. We're back. Call Erik and Matt now. 866-969-1969. It's Erik Nagel.
Yeah, that's us. Woohoo! Hello. We are back.
Indeed.
I am Erik. That is Matt. That is Giddles. Yep. And Lisa is over there.
Meow.
And that's Lewis behind the window.
Don't forget Lewis. He's a critical part of this show.
We've been plugging all our stuff on this show. And Lisa has comedy dates and stuff that makes her a lot of money, so she's got to go out and promote that. But screw that, Lewis. Give out your Twitter.
WhereDoWhiteWomenAt.com.
Right.
At Lewis Johnson 21 on Twitter, LewisJ21 on Snapchat. You can follow me there. It's Erik Nagel Show on Snapchat as well. It's going to be coming up. It's going to be awesome. So trust me.
No, it's there. It's just doing nothing right now. It's a placeholder. You want? We can do a Snapchat right now because I really don't care about it. I just know that a lot of people do that.
It's what the kids do.
Yeah, it's what the kids do.
They use it for the pornography.
You send someone a penis. It's like, this is going to self-destruct in 10 seconds.
All right. We're going to do this here. Matt, why don't you tell everybody about the beer show while I Snapchat something pointless?
Sure. Coming up on Friday, December 4th, we have our next holiday winter beer tasting show. Of course, joining us for all of our beer shows, because it wouldn't be a beer show without the Masters of None. Jay, Mike, and Art will be here.
Yay.
As well as Ken Cage and 2SP Brewing coming back. And then Greg Opie Hughes is going to be joining us for his second appearance on one of our beer shows, so that's going to be pretty awesome. It was a lot of fun last time.
Yep.
Even though he poked fun at us, but that was all right.
That's what happens. You gotta take it where you take it.
Yeah, of course. Mustache Brewing Company, Long Island Beer Company, and Demented Brewery are all going to be joining us as well.
You said that a little fast, just so people know it's Long Ireland, not Long Island Brewery.
Ireland Beer Company. And then, of course, Spinning the Tunes, Denny Falcone.
The holiday favorites.
That's it.
He says, how many Andy Williams songs do you want? This is a bad idea. I'm already regretting
I'm
this.
requesting Beer by the Real Big Fish.
Yeah. On loop.
Yeah.
You know what? I had this queued for weeks, and I thought, I was like, oh, maybe I won't play this while we're doing it, but it just seemed kind of cheesy and a little too on the nose for it. But since you mentioned it,
you've had it queued for weeks?
Yeah, and I just never played it.
Like, no one touched this button.
But you know what? It's a catchy tune. I mean,
it is a great tune.
If you like the Real Big Fish and you like the booze,
all right, we'll get to the hook.
She called me late last night, said she loved me so.
Why can we never play a ska song where Matt's not skanking?
It's in my blood.
Yeah. It's starting to spread this way, Eric. Oh, Lisa's got it.
Whoa, hey.
I'm just going to do the box step that the kids do in the Bartman video before the video starts, where it's all depressing. And she said,
I think I'll have myself a beer.
All right, there we go. So December 4th, come out and don't come out. You're not allowed up here.
You're not allowed.
Tune in. Listen to everything.
Pick up some beers from some of these companies and drink at home with
Drink
us.
along.
Yeah.
Remember, drink responsibly and drink safe. No drinking and driving. If you do go out, get yourself a designated driver.
That's right.
That goes for you two truckers.
Yes. Well, they rule the world. There's no rules for them.
Yeah.
But little note. Designated driver. I know it kind of sucks having to be that, but guess what? Most places, you eat for free.
That's right.
So tell them as soon as you come in, I'm the designated driver.
I'm the DD.
And you're not paying for shit.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You know how much free food I've missed out on my whole life?
Well, now you know.
And if you're the DD, you can just drop your friends off wherever, because that's whatever.
I don't live at Taco Bell.
Yeah, you do now.
Drop them off. Yeah. Drop them off, get a free meal, then call Uber.
Yeah.
Pick the kids up in a couple hours.
That's a great idea.
Exactly.
That's a get fat quick scheme.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, it's up on, it's Erik Nagel on Snapchat. There's a pointless live radio Snapchat up there for you for doing, don't say we don't do anything with it. We just did something.
There you go, huzzah.
And it's actually, I'll
leave it
surprise. I don't know what the hell my story is compared to putting the regular post up. I think one lasts longer than the other.
One lasts all day.
This is so worthless. I know people love this thing. I just don't get it.
I only know the Instagram and the Twitter. That's the only two I know. I don't even do the Periscope.
I'm not checking our Snapchat because it's just going to be people send dick pics. Like, I don't want to see that fucking shit.
The first Snapchat we did was there was a guy dressed as Snapchat at New York Comic Con.
I remember that.
And girls was like, look at him. And I said, that's the photo. We're done. We're never doing this again.
That is true. You did say that. Eric's like, no more Snapchat. I got Captain Snapchat. He was wearing a towel.
And he goes, I don't work for Snapchat. I bought the outfit on Amazon. I don't care where you bought it.
where you got it. You're dressed up as it. You
One
goof.
and done. Well, now we're 2 and done. Maybe 3 and done. I don't know.
Where are we going
let's
next?
move on to some fun stuff here. Oh, Gil sent me a link this week. Something that sent to Matt and to myself. I thought it was the Saturday Night Live parody, and it turns out it's not. It's actually better than that.
Yeah.
Lisa, can you see it from there? If you want, you can hop over to
I'm
that
moving
station, and we'll switch you over to that microphone so you can enjoy this goodness. It's a parody of Drake's Hotline Bling. And it's just titled Fat Drake. It's like, oh, that's just like, where is it? Right here.
It's so good.
It's amazing.
Oh, he's pulling his shirt up. You're just seeing...
It's so... You see all the stretch marks? It's so gross.
He was squeezing his belly button like it was singing the song.
Oh, that sweatsuit is horrible.
I can listen to this over the original any day.
All right.
Oh yeah, this song. Yeah, this is much better.
If you have some time, this is definitely worth sitting. If you're killing any kind of time on your phone or at home on the computer, you should do. We put the link up on It's Erik Nagel on Twitter there. So
it's 3.5 minutes of fun.
It's just raining hamburgers everywhere.
And who wouldn't want to be outside if it was raining hamburgers?
I love how he keeps. You know how. Like street ball,
yeah,
right, where the guys would walk around, they'd be wearing the shorts or the sweatpants, but they were constantly pulling up, the wife beater just to show like their abs and everything. He's doing that thug move, but then he's smacking his stomach like Kamala.
Oh yeah, the Burger King crown. I mean, come on.
I just like the girl in the hot dog. She was just like, whatever.
Oh man, as someone
Lisa,
who
was that
owns a
you?
hot dog costume, I can appreciate this.
I was going to say, I feel like the next big apartment show, you got to be wearing the hot dog.
She didn't wear it when you were there?
No. She was very dressed up in a robe.
Well, I was in a bathrobe first, and then because I was depressed in the beginning of the show, and I had my pajamas on underneath that.
Was that when you were playing for the show, or was that like real life spilling into the performance?
Well, I'm always depressed, so let's say yes, but because Wendy's out of town, anytime she's out of town,
Wendy is the
my co-host
for
Wendy
the apartment
Starling.
show.
Yeah, so I was depressed and in bed and didn't want to do the show. But we did it anyway. We did.
Aren't you glad you came for that episode, Gil?
Dude, it was fun.
For those who don't know what we're talking about, and that's pretty much everybody, including people here in the room, Lisa does a show out of her apartment with her roommate called Our Big
Apartment Show.
OurBigApartmentShow.com.
Right.
The episode with Giddles is up there. Now, it usually starts off with the living room being like the talk show set. Then it transitions to other little things. I think the time that I did the show, they had a comedy club set up in their shower.
Yes.
So that was going on.
That's right. We had a comedian tell some jokes in the bathtub.
Right. That was their little comedy club. And then they go to a cooking segment, which is this is weird because you walk out of the bathroom and you're in the kitchen.
Nice.
Yeah, so
it's like every good New York City apartment.
It's very convenient.
Giddles was on this week, and were you doing a cooking segment?
Yeah, it was kind of like a chopped segment, and Lisa went out and got me a bag of random things that I just had to cook up.
Presented him with a mystery basket of ingredients and gave him the challenge to cook up something delicious by the end of the show, and we kept checking in with him to see how his progress was.
Was there smoke in the fire alarm?
No.
No, not from his cooking, just the faulty wiring in their apartment.
Yeah, exactly.
They have
the water pressure is fantastic.
Oh my God, it's just dribbling out.
When I was over there, they were showing one of her windows has that grating on it for protection in New York City. And it's supposed to be the window that you get out through the back part of the apartment complex to flee to safety if there's something wrong.
Nice.
And guess who couldn't get it open? It was almost like fused from lack of use.
Excellent.
There's a whole series of locks. Yeah.
It protects the children's.
I could get out if there's a fire. I know combinations and where the keys are hidden and all the things.
Can't you just throw something through the window, if God forbid?
It's bars.
It's like
bars.
gates.
Yeah. Right.
It's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need a blowtorch,
Well, we don't
my
want to
bad.
get murdered.
But yeah, all right, I feel you.
We just want to perish in a fire.
I'm putting the link up now so everyone can
Fun show.
watch that.
Yeah, you have to log in. It's an easy login. You make a little username and password, and then you can watch for free.
Cool.
Do it that way or the other link that you sent me?
Oh, don't send that link.
No? Okay.
Because that's actually unlisted.
All right.
Well, I don't care if you do it, you do it. It's fine.
The website is
No, you didn't post it yet.
I make it difficult to watch.
Our Big Apartment Show.
You want to make it even more difficult? Charge.
Corn. No.
We were going to charge, but instead we have a little tip jar on the website.
There you go.
People, if they want to give us a buck or
Does
two.
it make the noise like the webcam girls? So like while you're doing the show, you're just constantly hearing ding.
I don't know what noise that is there.
Yeah, like
sent me to
you need
those
the Breaking Bad cash register sound.
You tip $100, you get a Chopped episode.
Yeah.
Another video I wanted to bring to your attention. So the other night, I'm watching CNN. Anderson Cooper.
Yep.
Right? So this was, I think, the day after the debates, which I don't know if anyone's really caring at this point right now, because now there's just every network has to have their own
That
debate.
just seems silly at this point.
I watch
doesn't it?
all the debates. They're fucking hilarious.
I love them too,
anytime
but
Trump is speaking,
a lot of
it's
people
great.
don't give a fuck because either you like Trump or you hate Trump, or you like Hillary, you hate Hillary, and that's where it boils down to. Or what the fuck is Ben Carson doing? That kind of stuff.
That guy's like.
So I'm watching
Clown.
Anderson Cooper, and nice guy, does serious news pieces, and doesn't usually do fluff stuff. You know, it's entertaining or poignant or whatever. So it goes to commercial, and you see the regular commercials that you would see on cable news, insurance, realty, some kind of pharmaceuticals, cars, the big time stuff.
The normal ads.
And then before he comes back, there was an advertisement for a kid's game called Gooey Louie.
I think I actually remember this game, though.
Now, here's what's weird. So I watched that, and then all of a sudden you hear, CNN, and then there's Anderson Cooper, and I go, wait a minute, rewind. I did not just see this. There it was. And the way it came on looks like, when the last 30 seconds of a spot break, the local cable company sells time over whatever the national feed is before it comes back to the big thing.
Right. B&B beddings.
Right. PC Richards. That kind of thing. So I go and I'm watching, I'm like, this is seriously a kid's game. It's disgusting.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right? So I go, I'm like, all right, I got to get a link for this. Now I write to you guys and said, you're not going to believe what I just saw. And I realized the link I sent was the link, but it was not exactly what I saw. The game is also out in the UK, so this was the British version of the commercial by a different toy manufacturer. And the version I have up here, I think, is the American version. But there's two companies claiming that they created this game.
Yeah, so I did a little bit of research because I was curious.
I gotta say, though, the accent was fantastic in
the British one?
Oh, yeah.
I'll see if I can find the British one.
The company that originally created the game, it looks like they licensed out the rights to Ideal, which is a pretty big games manufacturer in the UK. And then Goliath bought the rights to a bunch of games in the US.
Okay.
So I think it's like some weird licensing / distribution deal.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Because I was like, I'm curious now. I wanted to know what it was. And that's,
So what kind of game is Gooey Louie?
So, are you going to run the commercial, or can we talk about the game?
Talk about the game for a second. I'm going to get the British version up too.
So the idea of the game is it's kind of like
it looks like a big dick with eyes.
It looks like an Aardman character, like from Wallace and Gromit or something, right? And he's got boogers that come out of its nose, and you have to pick the boogers. And randomly, based on the boogers that you're picking, his brain will pop out of the top of his head.
His brain fell out.
Yeah.
All right. I believe this is the American version.
Not only that, I'm going to be very picky right now in this commercial. There is
no pun.
An 8-sided Rubik's Cube on that shelf. Who uses an 8-sided Rubik's Cube? Sorry. Or 8-squared one.
8-squared Rubik's
Very
Cube.
Perceptive.
Yeah, I'm an editor. I see weird things.
How many sides does a regular Rubik's Cube have?
Well, no, it's usually like 9.
9. Okay, rainbows.
Being an editor, if you're
it's got 12.
If you're watching a scene that you have to edit and there's a clock in the background, you start screaming.
Yeah,
it's like, get the clock out of the scene.
I say it just like that. Play this commercial.
No, Mr. Simpson, please, no, don't attack me. Simpsons reference. All right, this is the commercial for Gooey Louie.
Gooey Louie just sneezed. Look what came out of his nose. Gooey. Pull one out.
Oh my God, can we get this and play with it here?
Flip his leg. Oh no, his brains flew out. Go ahead and pick a winner. Gooey Louie,
pick a winner.
Now, here's what, hold on, go back for a little bit. All they point out is they say, oh no, his brains flew out.
That's it.
Now, his brains shoot out like the old gag of peanut brittle.
Yeah.
When you
It's
open
like
the
the
can
snake
and the thing,
can.
which, they don't explain that his nose now cracked and his eye shot across the room.
Yeah, it's like a Tex Avery cartoon.
The little girl that's sitting in front of him just got shot with the eyes that they cut away just to show the slinky brain shooting up into the sky.
It's a horrific game.
Yeah.
Like, the guy's head just blows up.
Watch.
Pick the wrong one, and he'll flip his leg. Oh no, his brains flew out. Go ahead and pick a winner. Gooey Louie.
All right, so there you go.
Very educational.
Play the British one.
The British one?
The British one is hilarious.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, you just Gooey Louie did.
There we go.
It's cute.
Hold on. All right.
This one is
Now, here's
5
the thing.
seconds longer.
This one is
Now-
5 seconds longer. It's got 5 seconds more boogers.
I put the commercial, the American version up on It's Erik Nagel on Twitter so you can follow along. But the animation is exactly the same until it cuts to the real game and the actress who plays the mom and the kids. So it's all exactly the same. It's just the dialogue and the company is different. All right, this is the British version.
It's Gooey Louie.
He really should use Mum's tissues. Pull the squidgy gooeys from Louie's nose. Keep pulling, but be careful. The wrong gooey will make his brain explode and eyes pop out. Gooey Louie. Frantic nose-picking, brain-bursting, eye-popping fun. From Ideal.
I like the British box better,
I'm telling you, the British one's better in all ways.
In your face, like, this game will kick your ass.
But there's all sorts of these weird, gross games. There's some game where it's like a pig in a chef's hat, and you got to keep on putting, like, you take turns putting food in his mouth.
Okay.
And at some point in time, his stomach bursts, and the food comes out.
Well, Lewis is like horrified over there.
I can't remember the name of the game. It's
maybe because of all the Walking Dead stuff.
Yeah.
Kids just want gore.
But I remember
like
from when I was a kid, though.
Yeah.
I think some of these games are just like coming back now.
Well, I remember gross out games when I was a kid, but this just reminds me of like a smaller tabletop version of the Double Dare thing where you had to reach into the big nose and pull out the little flag.
Yeah.
Like
His
that's
brain
what this
is weird. His brain's like cylindrical.
Yeah.
He's got a pretty narrow head. Like, I mean, this guy isn't smart.
He has a normal looking pink brain, but it's got that weird tail on it.
Yeah, it
that's
has
like
a
a
shaft.
sprinky. Yeah, it has a shaft. His brain has a shaft. So
Well, the thing
there
is,
you
it's
go.
really funny is that in the British one, he actually looks British, like on the British box,
Yeah.
as compared to the other box.
He looks like an Aardman character.
Yeah.
I mean, that's everybody knows what I say Aardman, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Wallace and Gromit.
Wallace and Gromit, yeah.
Shaun the Sheep, Chicken Run.
I love all those animations.
Yeah, so do I.
You posting this?
Oh, yeah, it's up there. But I want to point out, too, look at the box for America.
Yeah.
They tone it down. It's softer. It's not like in your face, right?
Oh, yeah, the UK box is way better.
Right, but you go to the UK box, everything, every extremity is shooting out all over the place,
Yeah.
and like this guy is dying and exploding right in front of
The
you.
UK box looks like something that Frank Centro Padre would have had to write gray material for.
Right. You know, I was thinking the same thing when Eric sent this link. I was like, this is Garbage Pail Kids.
Now, the British box says that it's
a fun-filled game of nose-picking grossness.
Nice.
Oh, I thought that was the age over there. I thought it said like 2 and up.
No, it
I'm
says
like, Jesus.
It says 5 plus 2 plus players. It's math.
Math is hard. All right. Well, that's Gooey Louie. You should check that out. It's up on the Twitter there. Both versions. We have a bunch of other stuff that we still got about 4 minutes.
I was going to
left
say, we
before
got a bunch
get
of
out
other stuff and not a bunch of other time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that. Fat Drake, apartment shows. That's going good. We'll have to save the superheroes on the network.
Yeah,
stuff
that's
for
okay.
next week.
That'll tie in nicely with
Eric's
some stuff
going
for next
down
week.
like our sheet, like a guidance counselor. All right, you passed math, you passed science. You're going to graduate.
Do we have time to talk about the lady who jumped off the cruise ship?
We can in 1 second.
Okay.
I just want to point out a programming note that if you're a fan of Mr. Show, on Netflix, all the brand new Mr. Show just came out.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
Okay.
So it's out there if you got nothing to do this weekend, as you're killing time till Jessica Jones. There you go.
There you go.
This
Nice.
brand new Mr. Show is now out on Netflix. So pointing that out. We can't get to the guys yelling outside of Gittle's apartment.
Always.
It'll keep.
Gittle's played a video game for the first time forever. All right, we'll skip on that. All right, cruise ship, and then we got to get out of here. So on one of the Norwegian Pearl. Now, you hear rarely stories of people falling overboard on a cruise ship.
Right.
Doesn't happen as often as it does as a cruise ship breaking down.
Sure.
They're caught for violations against those international treaties and stuff for dumping garbage into the oceans. Those are the kind of things you find out about with
Unless
cruise
their
ships.
significant other gets him a rock coat.
Yeah, or like
this
a massive rhinovirus outbreak.
Right. This is a non-rock coat situation where there was a twerking contest going on in the back part of this cruise ship, which was a
it'd be the back
theme.
part.
It was a themed cruise called the Mad Decent Boat Party, and it was right off the coast of Cuba.
Mad
now,
Decent,
the Mad
yeah.
Decent was a big EDM thing that they were doing on there. I think Skrillex was on this cruise, and a whole bunch of other people I don't know
Did he fall
that are
overboard?
famous. No. So there had this, from the article here, there was 2 women on the deck who were doing this twerk off thing, where they were both claiming the title of being the Queen of Turk, and they were not having it with each other. So they were twerking their asses off, no
Literally.
pun. And the one girl lost and was furious. to the point that she intentionally threw herself off the ship.
What?
Right.
Now, see,
So,
she just
it said
deserves what she
intentional
gets.
in quotation marks.
Right.
So I don't know if she really did or if they just didn't want her on the boat anymore.
Someone back that ass up.
Yeah.
She intentionally threw herself off the ship, and it was that weird twilight time where it was almost like 7 o'clock Eastern time. Now, when the contest was going on, is still a little bit light. When she threw herself into the ocean, it was dark.
Nice.
They have not found her.
Well.
They're doing 8-hour rotation shifts with the Coast Guard and I guess Air Force, something like that, where they're trying to find this lady.
Are they really trying? Let's be honest.
I think they're saying, look, this isn't. It's clear-cut case. Apparently, there's video of her jumping off.
Wow.
Yeah, but they haven't put that out
She
yet.
was just like, if I can't be top twerker, I don't want to live.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
So
No one
she
can
threw
have this
herself.
ass.
She threw herself off the cruise ship. Again, this was a non-rock coat situation.
Non-rock coat situation.
The late, great Patrice O'Neill coined that term.
One of my
If you
favorite
don't know what that
Patrice
is, go to YouTube and look up Patrice O'Neill rock coat. It's a fascinating tale.
It is.
And we're running out of time.
We are.
So let's go around the room, get the plugs, so we can get on out of here. Matthew?
Geek Stuff OG on Twitter and Instagram, bkgeekstuff.com for my podcast. And I think that's it for now, yeah?
All right, Giddle?
Giddle Base on the Twitter and Instagram. And a week from Sunday, I got the chili takedown in Brooklyn. It's going to be at the Royal Palm Shuffleboard Club. So come on out, eat some chili, and, eat a lot more chili.
Nice.
All right, Lisa Correa, where are you going to be?
On the 20th, I'm doing Glamour Puss at Zinc Bar in the city.
Ooh.
And then the Knitting Factory on the 22nd.
All right, there you go.
Very nice.
It's Erik Nagel on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat. We're there somewhere. Go to all that. E-Rock Radio for my stuff, Geek Stuff OG for Matt's stuff. December 4th is the big holiday beer show.
Yep.
We've mentioned throughout the course of the program, a lot of breweries are joining us. Denny's Spinning, our buddies, the Masters of None, are going to be co-hosting this event with us. And Opie's going to stop by, which is great. So I think that's about it. Next week on the program, the cast of Jessica Jones.
Very cool.
Which is very cool. If you're not familiar with that, don't worry. A lot of diehard Marvel fans didn't know who she was either.
That's it.
But
You're gonna
she's
love it, though.
a long lost, hidden character in the Marvel Universe. It's going to be a very beloved show.
Yes.
And David Tennant's on it, so I was automatically sold from the beginning. So that's next week. Also next week, we have Charlotte from the WWE. She'll be on to promote Survivor Series. And Team Ashen cosplay group?
Yeah, Britt Bliss and Kit Candela from Team Ashen. It's a cosplay group. They're going to be at the New Jersey Comic Expo, where Randy from NECA is going to be. And they're going to come in, and they're going to educate you on cosplay, since it seems to be this mystery for you. I've asked them to come in and talk to you about cosplay.
Are they coming in cosplay?
I don't know if they're coming in cosplay.
They better come in
it's going to be a hard lesson to learn.
Yeah. No, I really don't understand it. Perhaps you should dress the part.
Fair enough.
Okay, so that's all coming up next week. I think that's about it. So much stuff we didn't get to, as always. Stuff to give away. Maybe we'll have to do some Twitter giveaways or whatever.
Sure.
All right, so next week we will be back. Until then, be seeing you.
It's Erik Nagel. And that's all the time we have. Follow the show at It's Erik Nagel on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Unless we do something stupid or something better comes along. We'll be back next time.